Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Tex-Trek first reaction stream for the Starfleet Academy Season 1 finale, Rubincon, which I had to think very hard about how it's supposed to be pronounced.
Yes.
And shout out to the person in Discord who pointed out that IMDb says Rubicon and not Rubincon.
Spell check probably changed it for them.
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh. And one more person.
RC.
Howdy.
Hello.
Hello.
Does everyone want to go around and introduce themselves real quick?
Oh, Rachel's in the middle. No. Start with Chris.
I'm muted. Hello, I'm Chris Garris. I'm with the Trick Room. Just here to just talk about this good last episode, which I enjoyed. I have my notes, some nitpicks.
I'm Aaron Harvey. I'm a Trek author and designer.
Hi, I'm Stan Williams. I'm the co-host of the Salon Trek here on YouTube, 6:30 on Thursdays.
And hi, Joel.
I'm RC.
Oh, wait. I screwed that
I thought
up.
we were going clockwise.
You were.
We
I was
were.
copying
Every
and
week is the
pasting
same.
Yeah.
I screw it up. RC, take it away.
Hi, I'm RC Beyer. I'm the host of the Masks and Mayhem podcast, which Rachel is a part of.
Hi, I'm Joel. I interfere with everything about this podcast. but the good thing is, I did get your link for your thing, so isn't that nice? And I'm off and on Tex-Trek and here. And yeah, excited to talk about the season finale.
Yeah.
I'm Rachel, often here, also hanging out with RC playing nerdy games, and around the internet. What did everyone think about this final episode?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. It has, as all the episodes have their ups and downs, but I really liked how they used Jet Reno in this one.
Yeah.
I really did. And then there's some areas where I'm like, they really dropped the ball. And I don't know what the writers were thinking. And I was happy with the way it ended, and I'll explain that a little bit later when we get more in depth. But overall, it was a good episode. At least they ended it on a positive.
I think
Aaron?
for me, it was very like some ways Star Trek V, where it's like all the individual pieces are kind of interesting sometimes, but together maybe not as well. No, it's not. Yeah, pardon me. It is not any kind of hidden secret that I don't love the main string chewing bad guy. So for me, that plot line was annoying. But all the other parts of it were really great. Getting to see Jet Reno do her stuff. And yeah, I've got a couple of things about the way they used Tamar. I cannot speak. Sorry. I've had my nephew is very sick, so I'm a little bit out of it. I'll just let you go. So yeah, that was good, bad, ups and downs.
Stan?
Yeah, I loved this episode. I thought it was an excellent bookend to the season, and while not technically the second part of a two-parter to last week, if you look at it that way, I think it worked really well, and it's one of those rare, better second parts of a two-parter in Trek. Those are very rare, in my humble opinion, and I know Trevor agrees. He's
Correct.
gone on a rant about two-parters in a few places, but I loved a lot of quintessential Trek pieces of this episode. We had a trial, we had allegory. Like, I almost feel like Stefan. This episode had everything. We had fleets warping in. We had new people in command. We had Betazoid superpowers. I loved it.
I should go grab a suit and be Seth Meyers for you.
For myself, I really enjoyed it. Though I will say, it felt like it wrapped up too quickly. Like, I'm glad to know there's a second season in the pipeline, because if I didn't, I would be kind of like, oh, this might just be a one season.
True. It was true.
Yeah, I also really liked it. I mean, because parts of it are kind of lame, but that was just, I think, baked into the part of the Caleb's mom plot to begin with, and then she's not the pirate queen we all hope she was.
I know.
So, but
I
I'm
have
not
a
going to
rant
judge
on
this.
that later when it's time.
Well, we'll do that, but I can't knock the episode for not being, my awesome idea and all our awesome.
Correct.
That's not a fair criticism, but
clip that.
Okay.
Send that to every YouTuber, please.
I know. See, that's what I think about.
Please.
I watch some shows and I'm just like, is that really a criticism? It's an opinion, but
occasionally I'm like, hey, AO3 exists. If you really want to, here you go.
Mm-hmm. And yes, it is basically a Reno episode, and I do love that. It's great just seeing her to do all this stuff, and then they throw in all this Julius Caesar stuff too, kind of strangely. And then we also, it looks like a USA movie on Saturday night from 1992 with its weird on fire post-apocalypse spray painted setting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or Star Voyager from Disney, 1988.
Yeah.
If anybody knows that.
I really enjoyed the episode. There are parts that I don't think were perfect. Like, parts that were, I was like, that's a little far. But, like, overall, I kind of enjoyed how they wrapped up the story. And I think for me, I think with it being Tatiana Maslany, I was like, do you want the evil queen? I was like, no, I want to watch her being emotional. She's so good at it. Like,
yeah.
Like there was
just
one
the eyes.
scene I just like saw. It was like just the very subtle shock she had when like she realized Caleb actually is alive. Whereas, and this is not a criticism of Paul Giamatti. He's like a very different character than she is. Like his like very over the top shock that he's cut there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was like, Paul Giamatti is definitely making a choice for Braca. There's nothing is subtle.
Yeah.
She just feels very natural. When you watch it, you're like, okay, that I feel like that's how I would respond. Like, no, she was doing that. That's like, okay, yeah, totally can see that.
Apparently, I need to have.
It doesn't feel
Black.
acted.
Yeah, I need to have an Orphan Black podcast so I can just be like, here's why Tatiana Maslany is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I guess want to get into the general discussion of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
do it.
so I like I said, so earlier I had to do a review with another group earlier, and one of the things I said was, I really liked Jet Reno's humor in this episode. I thought it was spot on, honestly, because she was actually helping to keep the cadets, focused while the ship was blowing up around them, because the bridge is being attacked and all that stuff. And what I loved was when she was actually, as she was giving them, basically using them, they were working the problem of how to get the Athena going again, as they was like, well, let's do da-da-da. Okay, that's a B. And then, I'm not going to point something because it did take you too long. And then it was like, I think it was like 3 and whatever. She's like, or no, not 3. Doing like Caleb. So like when they're talking about how do they figure out the subspace and all that stuff, and he needs to write a program, and he's like, well, we could do this, whatever. And she's like, that's right. There's a lot of math in between, but you got the point. And so get going on that. And then I really like the News Braca's news network. Basically, it totally made me think of I think it's Relic's news on Trek Culture on that they have over there.
Oh yeah,
thing as Sean does. And so that was just I like for me personally, it's kind of like the play off on that. And then something that I was interesting, because so I had to think about this. If you go back to Voyager episode, the Omega Directive, the big thing was the Borg really, really were trying to figure out how to stabilize the Omega particle. And, they sacrificed thousands of drones and they never figured it out. First, then at the end, they figured it out on the Athena, how to actually stabilize this particle. And we were curious as how why was it the doctor that was able to figure this out to get that to tell them kind of what they needed to do to stabilize it. And it made me start thinking, I'm wondering if somehow when he was integrated with the computer or something like that, if he also remembered, or somehow he remembered that 7 was, the Athena, and he was able to figure out how to stabilize it. And so I really like that. And then something that I was interesting, because so had to think about this. If you go back to Voyager episode, the Omega Directive, the big thing was the Borg really, really were trying to figure out how to stabilize the Omega particle. And, they sacrificed thousands of drones and they never figured it out. First, then at the end, actually figured out right there at the end of that episode how to stabilize the Omega particle. And if he had that knowledge, somehow had that knowledge and was able to, share that with them, because at the end of the Voyager episode, they just blew it up because that was the directive. Omega particles go by. And so, I thought that was really interesting. So now, I mean, of course, we don't think the Borg exists anymore this time, but if they do, they better watch out, because the Borg were really wanting to have that particle because it was the closest thing to being perfect for them. So that's one other thing. And then I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I'm not going to wait until it. They totally blew Genesis line. They totally blew her scene when they put her on the bridge. They put her in command. She's sitting in the captain's chair. And she says she has to go pee. I understand they were trying to be humorous, but you take this serious situation and just completely they freaking just blew that up. I mean, she is, that's her thing. She wanted to be command. I mean, she was going to be in the command track, and then she goes and shoots herself in the foot and gets kicked out of that program. But I mean, that's and then she goes, "Oh, I need to go bathroom." So.
Yeah, I kind of.
She was thrust on that chair out of the blue. So
I love like a goofy Trek moment. And also that felt so realistic to me. I was like, that would fucking happen to me. I would
tension
sit down.
cutting. It worked for me too.
Yeah.
I hear you, Chris, but I liked it. It was a good tension cutting. Like
It's
you
also-
have
I'm the
high
type of
stakes.
person that won't notice I need to use the restroom until I like move position, and then like, darn it.
Very that.
Yeah.
Like when you get out of a car and you're
Yeah.
like, damn it, I have to go to the bathroom.
True.
I agree that it's realistic, but at the same time, like, I don't know, like, I feel like so many shows now are trying to undercut like the concept of like the hero's journey or like, a dramatic moment. And that was just one of the ones where I was like, oh, I liked the idea. Like, it was really like they had that dramatic swell and then they undercut it. And at the same time, I thought they kind of, not that it was like, it did not need the same level, but the fact that Darren got the con didn't get any recognition, because that was something he at least at one point wanted.
And they both have fought for to be in, to have the con, and the fact that they did it to
feel like it
her.
would have been weird to do that twice to two different characters.
Yeah, I'm not. No, exactly. I'm saying it didn't need to be at the full
Yeah.
full moment, but I was just surprised it didn't even seem to have like even just like a look between him and
Genesis.
who else was? Yeah, him and just like not
Yeah.
because Genesis was leaving when he took. Who
Tarima.
else was left? Tarima. Just like a look
Tarima.
between them, because again, like
Tarima.
I
Yeah.
looked at Tarima. She goes, "Do I know you?"
Captain.
yeah, you know what? Fair.
Like, I don't have Tarima and Darren interacted at all.
And did you guys notice that they nonchalantly, it didn't even occur to me what it was the first time I watched it, but Jet Reno has the greatest go to warp line ever.
I loved
Show me
it.
those lights or whatever, or something
Now
like that.
show
Was
me
it?
pretty streaks of light.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
That
great.
It came in a way that you didn't think of, like, people doing their first line
Yeah.
like they set up on a lot of shows.
I think
Yeah.
a lot of the other shows
Naturally,
have been too
and-
cute about it.
Yes, they
And
are.
This was
This was
natural, like,
amazing.
just like you said.
Oh my
yeah.
god.
Yeah. So
Did
that was
anyone get-
one thing. Anyway.
Did anyone have a feeling at any moment that, like, I don't know why, but for just a small portion of the episode, I was worried that either Jet or the Doctor might die. Particularly Jet, when she said she had to go like look at the warp, I was like, oh, are we about to have like a Wrath of Khan moment? Like,
I think I knew they were all in season 2s.
Yeah.
oh, okay. Then I was like, I didn't
think
have that
that-
context. That
I definitely
makes sense.
For like okay, I had that for like a split second for Jet, and then I was like, oh wait, I've seen her talk about season 2,
Yeah.
which is
Okay,
like,
fair enough.
maybe not the best way to like consume media where you know everything, like who's in what season, or they were all lying on panels so they would like.
But we
false
know
sense of
who
security.
just had to like enter the cruise late because they were still shooting. So
Yeah,
Exactly. Mhm.
so I do it.
fair enough.
Definitely.
Fair enough.
Robert Picardo was fine.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So, I got a question for everybody here. Who was wait? I don't know. I was. Who was waiting? So when Tarima and when she was basically telling Caleb, when he realized his mother was gone and he wanted to basically go get her, and Tarima's telling him, Caleb, we need to, we've got to worry about these planets, and we got to. It's the two of them versus these several trillion people that are going down. I was waiting. I'm like, is she going to say it? Is she going to say it? The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one, and she didn't. But that had that Oh,
kind
that
of
was
glad she
it.
didn't, just because it would have
Yeah.
been like a little too on the nose.
No, that
Bobby
would
They
did
already
it.
used
I didn't
it.
think she was gonna, because
Bobby
we've also
did it.
used that
Yeah,
phrase
right on
already
the
in this
nose.
season. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't. He didn't say Spock, so that was nice that Bobby said that.
But I was. Just
Oh, I always
waiting for
presumed
him
that
to
while
say
Spock was the character we heard say that, it was not like a phrase he came up with, or is
Yeah.
that?
No, but most
Right.
people, you would think it would
Related
attribute to
to
Spock,
Spock.
and it'd be even
Yeah.
more small universe. So
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I like the way
Uh,
when Bobby said it. Yeah.
I was waiting. I was like, oh, she.
Well, it's just, yeah. It made sense for me that Bobby be the one to say it, like a Vulcan be the one
Yeah.
to have the line.
Speaking of phrasings, did anyone else find News Braca saying the revolution will be televised to be a little weird?
That was a bit much, even for what they were going.
'Cause I was like,
for.
Apparently, is a fan
He's
of
not from
human
Earth. He
21st,
wasn't raised in the
20th
Federation.
That almost, like,
That's,
it didn't.
that whole thing, like in the news network, no one's going to take a time to make a logo and a crawl. That was just stupid. I will die.
Sure, they will.
No, I think we established that in the 24th century, the Federation News Network had a crawl,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
possibly
Yeah, but
even
this
the
is not a
25th with,
news network.
Picard.
This is a
The
bad
crawl
guy.
is
who's like,
eternal. The crawl.
It's
will
a
always
propaganda
crawl.
network. They're
Yeah.
very similar.
Exactly.
Yeah, respectfully, I want to push
I
back
understand they're
because
trying
I
to,
think if
make
you're
fun of
trying to
Fox, but
convince- yeah,
Yeah.
well, not just Fox. There are so many news outlets.
Well, yeah, but I mean-
ONN.
Yeah.
it
It
seems
was-
dumb. I'm sorry.
it was all propaganda.
There are
Well, yeah,
other
I
ways
mean,
to
look
have
at
pointed that out without going.
Okay,
that
I get what
far
you mean.
over.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
like it felt like
To me, it
too
just seemed
modern
too
as
much.
opposed to like
Yeah.
what something in the
Yeah.
future may look
I
like.
mean, his slang,
I-
the thing, the TV. It's just all like
The
that would
TV
be
worked
somebody
for me.
today who was like
Yeah.
taking people hostage would do, not in
Yeah.
the 32nd
They should have had
century.
some lines about his colony. Didn't have much, but they had all this old Earth shit. So they had to watch it over and over again.
I
So he
didn't
knows
need
all
it.
about
That's all the
musicals.
Federation gave us. Their pop
Yeah.
culture for some fucking reason.
I had to
It's
watch the
pretty
Sound of
clear
Music
out-
100 times.
I think it's pretty clear allegory
Yeah.
to today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I just read an interview
Really?
where like they can't come out and say it because of their new overlords, but
Yeah.
like that whole thing really worked for me because this was the first episode where News Braca gave me specifically Trump vibes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like every accusation is
Confession.
confession.
a confession, yeah.
Like that's propaganda as he is propagandizing
Yeah.
exactly what he's doing. We're going to put you on trial, a real trial. It's going to be transparent. Like saying these things that sound good when really what's happening is an orchestrated bullshit trial with the bells and whistles of the news network propaganda because the Federation News Network does still exist. We saw that in episode 4.
Right.
So countering that with actual propaganda really worked for me as the allegory of saying, look what news websites can do if you're not paying attention. Look what rhetoric can create and cause if you're not careful. If you don't have a Nahla Ake calling out your bullshit.
I know I said that to someone while I was watching. I said, like, maybe if this was like 10ish years ago, I was like, oh, I wish this would have been more subtle. And now I'm like, no, subtlety is dead. No one. I was
Well,
like,
that's the
people
other
fall
point.
for
It's
this shit in
like,
real
what is
life.
this going to do anyway? It's like, might
Yeah.
as well be more realistic than knock
Yeah.
people over the head because clearly no one's listening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So what's the
Funny, too, 'cause
alternative?
They
no,
the
I'm
title.
just saying.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
The title leans into Caesar with the Rubicon. Well, Rubincon, but then also there's I didn't realize it the first like 3 watches, but behind him, in the foreground is Aki on trial, and it says liberation behind her. But above that, on the second level of the atrium, it says Vini Vidi Vici Venari. So they lean more into Caesar
Yeah.
with graffiti, and it was just like, and then adding Venari, which is also Latin for
English
like,
graffiti.
to hunt.
Yeah.
Well, Latin graffiti.
Latin
I mean,
graffiti.
Well, human lettering, I guess, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, very human. So they're leading more. I guess he thinks he's the incoming conqueror, and he's gonna.
I will say, there is.
which leads into his over the top.
And that was, I did really like Caleb's speech because it felt very in character
Oh,
and
yeah.
worked.
Yeah.
And this is also like there was a moment I love where it's like his mom and Ake are like looking so proud, and they cut to news for a second. He just rolls his fucking eyes in the funniest way.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, I really like
that.
News Braca, and I
Yeah.
really like Paul Giamatti's like just over the top pirate.
Mhm.
It really
Mhm.
works for me. Um, with regards to the like kind of people were saying like there was a lot of 20th century phrases both this episode and throughout the season. Had they said fellow traveler before? Because it was said twice in this episode and it stood out to me. They had in
pilot.
previous episodes, and I just had missed it then.
And the digital dean, that's what he calls the students.
Oh,
fairly-
okay,
fairly
okay.
often.
Yeah.
Maybe
I totally,
yeah.
for whatever reason, didn't pick up on it. Just the
I'm
fact it
now
happened twice this
wishing
episode, it really stood out to me.
that there was a scene during the trial where the digital theme came on that everyone was like, what the fuck was that?
He should have just come in and been like, "You suck, News."
Yeah.
Please note, you will need to clean up the atrium when you are finished with this trial.
Mhm.
Someone get that fur fly.
Yeah, which apparently is mating with itself now.
Yeah.
Kids, they don't know what they've done. But...
Digital Dean can't just go talk to this one kid. He has to keep making announcements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see
That
him,
would have
like,
been so funny if it interrupted the trial. That would have
God.
it absolutely would have not worked, but it would have been
all
hilarious.
They could have like verbally fought in like
Yeah.
scuffle sounds or something.
Yeah.
I wish I was
one
better at like
thing-
video editing. I would have made that.
Oh yeah.
I could find something like Stephen Colbert yelling something.
Oh, I'm now thinking about doing
That's
it.
great
I
because
did
you can
a-
take a Colbert clip from anything
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then just
Yeah,
I wish I thought of that. I thought of that right now. That's the problem.
Yeah.
like I gotta go make this. Bye guys.
yeah. I have.
Our show will be
become
short
a
today.
Canva girly, and I might throw something together. I did a Reba McEntire video with clips of his mom, like a single mom who works too hard.
Oh
Perfect.
gosh.
It's
I
all
have-
over our socials if you want to take a look. It did not go viral, and I think it's worthy of it.
It should have.
I'm annoyed that I haven't seen it. I will look at your
I
socials
haven't seen
after. No, I have an edit that I'm keeping secret based on the fact that a TNG episode has the same name as a Hannah Montana song.
No, I was going to say one thing about the trial aspect of this episode was that, one thing in Nahla Ake, she owned her mistakes and her screw ups.
Yeah.
Whereas Caleb's mom actually would never, she would not take ownership of that. She
Oh no.
killed that pilot and whatnot. She just kept on
It's
blaming
almost
them.
just like she seemed more angry that she was taking blame for it. Like she wanted her to fight back or something. It was just that sort of like,
Mhm.
I think
don't
it's
just
one
say
of-
yes.
That
you
was
did
part of
that,
her fantasy. Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
one of those things where it was
Exactly.
like, oh
She
no, this
wasn't playing
person
into
I
it.
villainized isn't actually a villain. Like, how do I live with
Exactly.
that?
Yeah.
Mhm. Well, and then when they're on the bridge and they're being attacked, and she's like, if anything happens to my son, I'll kill you. She said, well, you'll be doing me a favor.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't. Every time that happens, she's like,
She didn't
crap.
like that. Yeah.
She didn't like her telling that, because like you just said, I think it was Rachel. You said, she's having to basically eat her own words. And she's realizing, oh wait, no, she actually did try to take care of my son. You're not this villain, but I'm still going to say you're guilty anyway, just because I can't own up to my own crap.
I loved that. I love
Yeah.
that they didn't go, because I thought when she hugged her and was like, just go with it. We got to be
Yeah.
together on this.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to flip it and be like, listen, I'm still pissed at her, but she's not guilty. She has to
Yeah.
keep doing what she's doing. Like they could have easily
Yeah.
done that, and depending on the writing, could have worked.
Yeah.
I'm super glad that they didn't go that way because
Correct.
it hit. She's like, I'm still pissed at you.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm glad like, it
Well,
made
aside
more
from Braca,
sense.
everything else was like less,
Yeah.
like just tropey or expected, which I thought was really
Mhm.
great.
Yeah.
And it makes sense for Caleb to be the thing that like influences her.
Yep. 100%. Mm-hmm.
At the
But I
same
think-
time, it
Yeah.
connects to my biggest criticism of the episode, which is that it felt like we went from kind of scared in the beginning, like when she first wakes up, to really visibly angry and willing to condemn the galaxy for it, to hey, we're kind of congenial. No, they were nice to each other at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Genius.
And I was just kind of like, this felt
Yeah.
congenial. Thank you. It just felt like too quick of a jump. Like I'm not expecting them to still be enemies, but they seemed almost friendly, and I was like that.
Yeah.
I feel like there's some
I did
stuff
like
that happened
her, like,
off
kind of
screen to
halfway
get
I think
closer.
she's putting on a front a little.
Yeah,
bit.
I feel like this could be a thing where they're like,
Yeah.
they're like divorced parents that are friendly in front of their kids, and then like when they're alone, they're like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not
That
gonna pull
guy's
my kid
crazy.
into this, but I hate them. Like,
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think it was it last week we were, I don't know if it was while we were on stream or after stream, we were talking about, how it would be kind of, when they put the wall around the Federation space, and you can't warp through it and all this stuff we were discussing about would Discovery come through. I love how quickly
They
they
covered it.
Yeah.
That's good.
They shut that
They're
down.
like,
Like nope.
we know what you're about to say, and no, Discovery can't come and help them right now.
Yeah.
I thought it could.
We saw
It
it
could
at
have
the
been.
end, but it would be nice if it was like
Yeah.
with a big.
I
group
said a
shot.
bit-
Yeah, I
Because
thought it was.
think
I
that-
still think there's a giant Discovery thing in season 2. They're
I
purposely
don't
doing it.
think so anymore because
Really?
this would have
Okay.
like the first season of this new kind of
You
spin-off of
thought it
Discovery.
would be one episode,
I-
very special.
I like what they're doing though because
Yeah.
for anybody paying attention, watching the other shows, like it is a big plot thing. Like,
Yeah.
like it's same as how they had to explain in Discovery how the spore drive didn't become a thing because then Voyager wouldn't even be a thing.
yeah.
So I thought like how they executed it could have made a fun hero moment, but at the same time, I'm glad they didn't because this show gets to be its own and it stands on its own.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so just seeing it out of the atrium window really worked
Yeah.
for me.
This
and
show
having
is
a couple of name
defining
drops,
the
I think
32nd
gives it a
century.
good
Right.
plot.
I
It gives
will-
it a good touch of
Mhm.
like if you're paying attention for
Yeah.
people. Who,
Continuity.
sorry, I keep getting bumped. What I'm trying to say about Discovery is for folks who this is their introduction to Trek, there have been enough touches about Discovery that I think it's going to make people curious to go watch it. Like, what is this additional thing?
What are they talking about? Why they keep referencing this Discovery thing?
Yeah.
Now go
They
find
need to
out.
for plot, and hopefully it gets people to watch other shows.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll say,
I
I'm
see
sure
it
people
on
have
network.
questions if they haven't seen Discovery, they probably have questions like, what does Jet mean? She's lived in 2 very distinct
Yeah.
centuries.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
will say I watched the episode 3 times, and it wasn't until Joel sent me a screenshot that I noticed that Discovery was outside that window and went, "Oops."
That was Aaron.
I
Oh,
saw it
I
on
was
my
curious about
second. I was like,
Oh,
oh,
it's
yeah.
Aaron. Sorry.
I didn't notice it. I watched it 5 times.
The-
Yeah.
Well, it's only 4 on the screenshot. But
It's
Look,
those
it's been a
distinct
long
nacelles.
day.
It was funny
They're
when
longer than any
Discovery-
other.
yeah, they're very long.
Yeah.
Well, other than
When Discovery
Athena's
was
now.
first announced,
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to take bets. Like the very last scene of the first season is going to be, it's the Enterprise, or you're going to find out that it's going to be the
Yeah.
Like no,
Yeah.
that's dumb. And they did. So I'm kind of glad they didn't do that here because
Yeah.
that would have been very more tropey.
Yeah,
I
I
had
wouldn't
enough of
have-
those already in the
I
last 2
wouldn't
seasons
have
or 2
minded
episodes.
Discovery being in that group at the end that all came to
That
say
would
yeah.
have worked. Yeah.
But
Warp,
Yeah.
warp, jump, and then
like I
It should have been the
almost
first one to
wondered-
get there.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like yeah,
Exactly.
and I almost wondered if like animating wise it looked weird to have the like jump then all the warps joining like
It could have been distracting too.
Yeah.
Plus budget with everything. Like
Yeah.
the
Sure.
warp jump into the gas giant was really cool.
mhm.
Like they spent their pennies
Yeah.
this episode.
That had
Yeah,
to cost
63
between
minutes, and they
2
cut the credits. So I mean, they really pushed
Yeah.
it for.
It's just like, yeah, I think this is the one Star Trek show where I'm like, I'm actually fine that the theme song's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. It was cool the way the very movie like the put the credits over the destruction.
And it bookended the pilot really well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did. Especially with like both episodes ending with like a needle drop. And actually, I think this show does their needle. It chooses its needle drops and uses them really well.
Yeah. And Rufus is a great voice for this show.
Yeah, that's a second or is it 3? At least 2, right?
Mhm. Now, the scene between Tarima and Caleb when I was like, somebody went and must have watched Nemesis because I wonder if Tarima is she somehow part of the house like Troy's family or something.
Yeah.
She knew how to go and excuse me, get with him and be able to basically do the same thing they did in Nemesis when Counselor Troy was trying to find the enemies, the guy on the scimitar. Because that's exactly what I was like. Oh, that's exactly what she's
Or
doing right now.
Yeah.
or the season 3 finale for Picard.
Or Vulcans in 100
yeah.
other episodes because like they're always doing it.
Yeah.
But
I
they're
didn't think of it
psychic.
as a Troy
Vulcans are psychic.
thing. It's just Betazoids can do it. And like
Yeah.
the distance was where her particular issues came in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we as for betas, I think we'd only seen it that one time. Like that was in Nemesis. It's one time we
Yeah.
hadn't seen that, and so that's why I was like, oh, we seen it with Troy. So somehow maybe she's related to Troy's family or something. I don't know, but or they knew about it. But I was like, okay, I just for me, I just like when they do throw these little nuggets like that into a series to give us a little bit for me to give a callback to something that I liked,
Yeah.
I was kind of glad that like Terima got a time to shine with her powers that wasn't destructive.
Yes.
Mhm.
Then you got to see like, hey, the powers are actually not all scary.
Mhm.
Look at
And
this.
also not life-threatening.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I also continue to not care about their relationship, generally speaking, though I
Yeah.
am happy for the two of them having found somebody. Like
Yeah.
their relationship is the least interesting thing about the show to me, but like as a piece of the plot, it works really well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Stan, I think you'll appreciate this. When she said "I love you too," I went, "Oh, they love each other." Where the hell is Kyle?
Yes.
Where's Occam?
I did love that moment. I
I
love
think
that.
on Beta Z.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
They
assume
were all
Kyle is
offloaded on
too.
Beta Z.
Yeah.
More
I
Kyle's there
love
too,
that.
because Kyle heard they could be naked. Kyle's there already.
Mhm.
Kyle's just waiting for Jaden.
He's
Like,
like,
I've got my sunscreen on this time.
So I was with a group we were talking about. We'd like to know. It would be completely out of place in the series in the episode, but we'd love to have seen what the rest of the crew was the rest of the bridge crew was doing when they were having that little moment on the bridge in the middle of all this action. And like, no, you don't do this at this point in time. Attention, but like, so they're doing this, and everybody. We'd like to know what's everybody else doing. Are they just looking at like,
I still think time slows down when she does.
That's what I was
that.
gonna say.
I
I got the
think
feeling
so,
that
yeah.
happens all in
But-
like 1 second.
That is
in their
really funny.
perspective.
That just reminded me of like Encounter at Farpoint when everybody Q blips everybody back onto the bridge, and O'Brien just looks up, is like, does not clock that everybody is in a different spot. Is like, okay.
you get used to it in Starfleet.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
thinking, and also at a counter at Farpoint where Troy is like mind speaking to like Riker in front of Picard.
Do you remember what? Do
Yeah.
you remember what I taught you in
Yeah.
Zadi?
mhm.
The most, and ironically, the most disturbing thing about that scene is she calls him Bill.
Yes, it's frightening.
Cheerleader Troy was my favorite look, though. I fucking loved it.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Did we ever get a strong definition of like what it means to be a ward of the Federation? Because even Ake made it sound a little bit like that is like not a great thing to be.
I assumed it.
I was
Well,
foster care, right?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
he's
But
gonna
I was
train her
like,
to be Robin,
Yeah.
like Batman. Oh, I was wrong.
and but also 15 years ago, like the show has done a great job world building the 32nd century.
Yeah.
I think they've done better than Discovery has
Mhm.
after the
Oh, yeah.
jump. And we know from the pilot and other episode commentary just how rough it was, and like Braca laughing, Anisha's reaction to he'll be a ward of the Federation, like that to me was enough to infer like it's not terrible, but it's also not good. Like, because in the post-burn, Federation is stretched really thin to
Mhm.
the point where some people have to resort to whatever Braca's doing. And so to be a ward of the Federation does not necessarily mean, because I've been thinking about this. This is actually a great segue into my rant about Anisha Mir, if y'all don't mind indulging me for a hot second, because I think a ward of the Federation is actually probably kind of bad at that point in the timeline. And the reason why I say that is because I've been thinking a lot about the mom. Since week 2, I was like, oh, she's going to be the villain. Caleb's going to have to choose his new mom over his old mom. That'll be interesting. And a few weeks ago, I started to hedge my bets. And especially last week, I was like, she's not seeming like, oh, drat, these kids and their little Lanthanite too are unraveling my plan. It's like actual fear. And I was a little worried that it wasn't going to be a satisfying ending if they didn't go the villain route. And I was wrong. The trial really set it up for putting it into a better perspective for me, because I think it boiled down to two things that I was running up against. Number one, as a 90s Trek fan, my nostalgia around Starfleet and the Federation made like understanding her fear of the Federation a little more difficult. Like I was steeped in the like 24th century utopia, which again is why the world building that they've done, it is not the 24th century. The post-Burn Federation is terrible. And number two, I'll admit there's some privilege here. Like, I'm not thriving, but I'm okay. And so I'm looking at this woman whining about going to jail for committing a crime. And I really had to take a step back and put myself in her shoes. She was basically not forced, but like she felt no alternative but to go with this pirate to get some food, right? And then she gets what has already been acknowledged by others, a ridiculously harsh sentence. Like, she did not kill that officer. She was an accessory to a crime. And she said, don't trust them. She did not say run away. I don't think she was expecting the Federation to lose her son.
Yeah.
So you've got me in prison. You lost my son. 15 years go by, and then she has no idea what's going on. Like, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. I get this woman's hatred for Nahla now. I get her hatred for the Federation. And so I thought the execution this week was so solid and really well earned. I was worried it wasn't going to be satisfying to like not give us a fun twist, but like, no, like this has been what they've been saying all along. She's just pissed.
Yeah.
And the performances were excellent. I just loved it.
Yeah, because part of the Pirate Queen theory I thought was going to happen was Caleb would find out some horrible things she's done. But instead, we go back and we find out from her lips the one thing he knows she's done.
Yeah.
Being involved in the killing of Lee, Akuma Lee, who I can't believe they went there. It was like this was his last mission before retirement.
That was
one thing that might have
not
been
the
a
last
little
job
over the
before
top.
retirement.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm too old for this shit. Oh,
At least they didn't give us a flashback to it.
I was gonna say season 2. I want a flashback.
But yeah,
a
like
spin-off.
Hey,
The Last Days of Akuma
he had
Lee.
kids too.
Yeah.
How about that? Like I changed the trajectory of your life and the life of your son, but so did you for him and his children.
And then that's when she still would not own up to that either.
No.
You know, that she did do that but you know,
I think
what I liked about all those. Well, first of all, they didn't tell us that he was coming. Caleb just all of a sudden, you know, pops in there. Well, I mean, like that was it's kind of a surprise. I didn't even know he was going to do that, but I did enjoy it, and I just loved. Oh, I loved how, you know, finally when Nahla gets to start rubbing Noose's, you know, nose in it again, when she's like, Caleb, didn't you take, you know, was it biology or chemistry or something like that? Exochemistry. And he's like, yes, I did. And she just starts, you know, just basically feeding him what he needs to put that piece together. And he's like, well, yes, it would do, you know, it rain. And and like, when did the Federation switch from red to green and all this? Well, that would be X amount of years ago. So it couldn't have been. Oh, he just freaking dagger.
And
They science the trial and the mines, very Star Trek in ways.
Her retort when he tried to say that's a lie, that's a propaganda, and starts freaking out like, no, it's science. No, it's science.
Although,
I
like,
love that.
I wish
Masks work.
When she said like, it's history, but he was like, Hugh writes the history, and then I want her to be like, I was there.
Yeah, really.
Like
400 years. Yeah.
I also loved. I noticed this like the first time I watched it. When he's telling the story, you can see like that Nala's like clearly trying to add something up in his story that's like not quite adding up to her. Like she's like, you can see like Holly Hunter having her like do the mental math and like trying to come up with like, wait, something's not making sense.
Oh, absolutely. You can see her in her face and her eyes. She is putting the pieces together, just looking for that one thing that he's going to say that's wrong.
Digging. You know,
yes.
First,
and
what were you mining? And then,
yes. And once she let him put his case out there, and then she just picked that apart.
Yeah.
And it is so good.
Oh gosh, she did such a good job picking it apart.
And she also didn't take the bait with referencing her son. She's like, no, I've had some time to reflect on this.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the Starfleet officer you murdered. The retort about the Starfleet anthem. Well, there is no Starfleet
Yeah.
anthem, but that's a great
That's a
suggestion.
good idea.
I like that.
Like, I love how casually, like, what a great suggestion. I'd love to go to my teaching moment real quick.
Season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have an
Starfleet
anthem in
anthem
season
incoming.
2.
Season 2, it's like the Doctor trying to get to the opera.
Well, hopefully by season 2, the Doctor's fixed.
Yeah. He was fixed at
I'm
the end,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
He was
He was
not
fine
fixed.
at the end.
Yeah, he said he was right as rain.
He was still glitching.
When,
I think,
when
at
he
the
was
end
with
of the
Sam,
When
as
he's
she
with
went
Sam
off
at
to
the
others,
very, very
he
end,
seemed
when she
fine.
goes and joins
Yeah.
her friend, he's fine.
At the stairwell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, that shot. Woo!
Such a good
Yeah, it was
shot.
great.
And oh my
I love
God.
this ship.
I mean, we know he's a giant and that Holly Hunter's tiny, but geez Louise, was she like standing in a hole or something? Because the way that camera angle, he was just towering over her.
There's
Caleb was.
that first scene of them together where he's like, when she finds him in the jail, he's like, like towering over her too. I'm like, they could not have chosen a more like substantial height difference for these two characters.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he'd be like, okay, he could just like tap her on the head, like you're good. It was just, I mean, we know there's a difference, but I just how that angle, I was like, God dang, she's tiny.
I need Seth from Cochrane to show up just so I can get Holly Hunter next to James
Hunter.
Cromwell.
No, yeah. Cochrane, Caleb,
Holly Hunter.
Aki.
Well,
Yeah.
friends, that's my cue to. I was looking for a segue, and I am notoriously
go.
terrible at them. I've got to walk 10 day before the salon. Hope to see
All
y'all
right.
there in the chat, and thank you for having me.
Oh, you're
Love the
welcome. See you
episode.
later.
Yep.
See you later.
Bye. Mhm.
See,
I guess if I had one kind of nitpick in a way, I was like, and they have not gone, and we have not had another major, we're going to end the galaxy / quadrant as, that's going
Yeah.
to destroy something, because that was the last 3 seasons of Discovery. And we're still, I mean, they even say this is going to be bigger than the burn again. And I'm just like, oh my God, let's get out of this. We're going to blow up the galaxy or the universe. Let's find a new trope to do.
Yeah.
Let's get past this, people.
yeah, I'm very tired of this. Every threat has to
Yeah.
be galaxy level.
I was thinking
because
yeah. Where are you going? Sorry.
no, sorry.
No.
I was just gonna say that basically, like, also like his overall plan just isn't as like understandable. Like, I get that he doesn't like the Federation, but like, there's a lot of resources on those worlds he'd be destroying that he would presumably want to be able to plunder. So like, and also like, I would almost think that he just wants to keep them trapped in there as opposed to blowing them, like as opposed to the direct threat of blowing them, like make it so that only they can blow themselves up, trap them as opposed to just destroying wantonly. Unless I misunderstood, but I thought the Omega particle was gonna it would destroy those planets, not just kill living life.
Yeah.
It would do everything. It was going to.
think
Stuff in the middle, far away, would live, but it'd be cut off.
Yeah, they couldn't go anywhere. They would never
Yeah.
be able to travel in warp
Yeah.
in.
Oh right, yeah, because it
Yeah.
does the subspace thing.
It destroys
So, yeah.
subspace. Yeah, it's interesting how they did that. And then now I will say this.
I think because it would make just as much sense for Deuce to be like, I'm going after Nahla specifically. I don't give a fuck about everybody else.
Yeah, if they had just put the mines around Beta Z and like 2 other systems,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it would have worked.
Well-
and it wouldn't be quite as unbelievable. Because they
Again,
can just
did
tell
we
any
not
Federation
learn?
ships leaving Federation space, we nuke Beta Z. It would have just
Exactly. Well, and again, did we
it
not
seemed over
learn?
the top to do.
You don't put all your ships in one spot.
They weren't all of them. It was just most of them.
Not
All
since Frontier
Federation
Day
does-
Not
2050,
Frontier
whatever.
Day, quite, but
All of them except the Athena were at Beta Z.
Yeah.
not all of them. They were specific. Most of them are there. There's still other ships, other places. They were pretty
A very
specific.
Although I
few.
think they put it around all of Federation space, right?
That's
It
the
wasn't,
thing,
they
it
put
wasn't
all
just around
Federation
Beta Z.
space. Yeah. And so it just, but again, don't put all your resources in one spot.
Mm-hmm.
You
Well,
know?
they had the big recall all ships into Federation space. They made a big deal about that before.
Yeah. And then
After they
of course,
did the one mine.
of course, now also here's what I want to know. And again, we have to, suspend belief, because I mean, as soon as the freaking wall was done, how far away were they from Beta Z? Because all of those ships were there instantly. Like it was like boom, 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 boom. They all popping in. Like
I don't think they were actually that far away.
I think they all moved to the edge of.
they may
But
have.
that also,
space
they
in the
probably
mine.
that's probably
They
all
were just
like,
beyond the
waiting.
blast radius of the mines.
They're like,
just ready to
if you see
pounce.
that thing where they like open Disney World and all the like people go running, that's what they were doing. They're
Yeah.
waiting for the rope to drop.
Yeah, I don't know, but they were there. They almost appeared instantaneously.
I
You
also
know?
just kind of assumed that wasn't the whole fleet. I assumed that was like a good chunk of it.
Yeah,
Well, it wasn't the whole fleet. You're right, but it was
the whole
a
fleet.
good chunk of
Discovery
them.
wasn't there.
Yeah.
Well, Discovery can't be. There.
Well, they could have afterwards, but
So I don't know. That just was a little.
Sausage.
I thought about that just now when we were talking. It's like, I mean,
Maybe there was one other issue going on. They're like, okay, Disco, you go handle that. The rest of us will go deal with this fucking madman.
So who took the time to pause, or if he did, to pause and read all of the baby pictures? Yeah,
We did
Oh,
that.
yes.
Oh, I think.
I love them.
I
Yeah,
didn't get all of them.
it was. Yes, we read. So Joel, Aaron, and I noticed. I was like, oh shit, there's something actually written there. As we
Yeah.
were going through
Yeah.
all of them. Shout out to Fancy Pants.
Yeah, that was hilarious. But what I loved was
I
the
love
one
Reno's the most.
Arena, just because she was
Yeah.
like, "I'm after the freaking computers."
I'm
Yeah.
after two voices.
Yes.
I finally have something to ask at cons. I never think of questions, but I'm like, who the fuck
Ooh,
wrote this shit?
Thank you,
This is
Let me-
gold.
Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
I did. Yeah, I did see Aaron say.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, these are gold, and like Colbert's is hilarious. And they're so in character
see.
too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was RC just wrote in the chat.
It's a line that sticks with me.
True.
Yeah. Oh, say it out, RC. Say it out loud while I'm pulling up what Aaron sent me.
They
So
weren't
Aaron
sure
sent-
Discovery's captain could handle dealing with a space pirate, so they had them patrolling the neutral zone in case the Romulans decided to use the moment to their advantage.
Yeah,
Like happens so often.
the wrong.
And now the Romulans are on
That are
Navarre,
now
so
part
oh
of-
my god.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I mean,
patrol
also the
Navarre.
Romulan Star Empire doesn't exist, but that's a whole separate. It's also why I
There's
had the
about
slash S.
Eight Romulans in Navarre have
Yeah.
the Romulan Star Empire Club,
Yeah.
and like
I know. So I know Occam is
they're all
not
really old.
officially part of like the main cast, but he hasn't been in the last two episodes. And it
Yeah.
would have been kind of neat to have seen him just show up at the end when they were doing that last
Yeah.
scene when they were all in the
I was
down there at the bottom of the
surprised he
atrium.
didn't
Should've been
show
there
up
then.
there.
Yeah,
Like I was like, was that? I was like, was that after filming something this week? Like still like something else?
It's weird.
yeah.
Well, like, because I
but-
pointed out, and I'm sure this is like, I think I pointed this out last week, and I know this has to do with like powers of like their agents, but like he's
Yeah.
in as many episodes as Vance, and Vance is
Yeah.
considered a series regular,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and that has to do with the fact that like that was like
He's a
it's,
known
it's like a
actor.
known actor.
Yeah.
I very much get that. I know. I understand.
Fancy pants. That was.
Um,
Now there is the problem. Okay, so again, sorry, I was thinking about so the credits were great, but it's also was kind of it's almost like you would not. That's almost something you would have done for like a series finale
I had the same thought, or
was
movie
very
or
Star
movie
Trek 6.
credits.
or Star Trek
a-
6. I think one of the
Variation of the
something-
signatures. on
Yeah,
Star
one of
Trek
our
6, I thought.
Seventh Row members said the exact same thing. It was like that as well, but
Yeah.
again, Star Trek 6 was the end of the original cast.
It was, yeah.
So- I mean, it's cool.
So,
It's-
so clearly next season we're gonna follow a whole bunch of new first year cadets.
And Kirk dies under a bridge. It's the thing that happens
Well, of
after
course,
Star
that's
Trek
just how
6.
things go.
No,
Occam needs a better agent.
yeah,
I do.
No,
He does.
First, they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose Ake in a time rift thing. Then we're gonna jump forward.
Well, also so I think at one point Jet kind of implies that like this is their year at their finals test basically, and now I'm like, well, wait, Aka wasn't there. Does he not get to graduate to sophomore year?
Well, if
Yeah.
they fail, he fails because he's dead. So
Well,
Yeah.
there you go. I
There's
did
a bunch
write
of
that
people
in my
at-
notes.
There's a bunch of people who just had like just like on the line of passing or not passing for the grade, and then the people who worked really hard on the group project got them over the line.
Yeah.
Well, and I agree with what Aaron says because I actually thought that as well. Is like what if they when they filmed this, they were doing these last end credits. If they were like, okay, let's just do this as a just in case, because that's also what I like the fact. Thank God they did not leave us on a cliffhanger. They actually just completely wrapped up the episode and the season, so that if for whatever reason they did not come back,
Season 2 ends on a cliffhanger. We found out.
Yeah.
I mean, also I read Aaron's comment and it made my heart hurt because I was like, don't put that energy out there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's possible.
Exactly.
I'm never gonna get to see Batgirl.
Mm-hmm. No, Jill's right. Yeah, it is. It kind of is a bit worrisome.
I'm trying to open the files that Aaron sent, but I'm not usually the one who like screen shares files out here, so I'm dead. Hey,
Can you
RC,
share a
sometimes
tab?
do
You
what?
can open a tab.
Maybe.
I heard my name.
You want to send it or something?
What type of file do you usually like share on here?
You can do PDFs. You can do images, JPEGs.
Yeah, it would open
These
the
are
pings, and then it wouldn't open the pings. Here,
That would-
It's in. Okay, maybe I'll just try.
You need to send it to me. Let me look at it. There you go.
Hi, Jason.
Hey,
I'm
I don't have any PNG files.
Yeah.
I was trying to see if I could.
Did you bring Rachel the knowledge to open the sacred ping files?
I'm trying.
The sacred ping
Aaron,
files.
whose internet is being very stupid, sent me the files. He took the screenshots of the credits that I'm trying to open, and we are just being dumb.
While you're figuring that out, I just figured I'd ask, did anyone else, like, I recognize that this was the season finale, and so there wasn't more time, but I almost wish, I don't feel like there's anything in the previous episode that really built up this rift between Genesis and Sam that Sam comments on.
Oh, the last episode they did.
Did they? Okay,
Yeah.
I just...
Yeah, that's why when Sam says, like, I've asked to be in a single room next year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That episode I only watched the one time, and I was at work, so I didn't get a chance to watch it the second time.
Oh,
so
totally.
because I remember the ending, I was like, I definitely watched it.
Mm-hmm.
The end. I mean, sorry that I wasn't here last week, but the ending of last week's episode was very good, like a perfect cliffhanger for a finale.
Yeah.
But okay. So yeah, I just missed it. I just missed that scene or had forgotten it.
And I gotta step away for a minute. My dog is like bugging me, so I mean he's got to. He's like, do something with me, so I'll be right back while you're working on that.
Fair enough.
Okay. I'm trying to also send these to Chris.
Okay. Well, I have the
Thanks,
URL.
Aaron. It's just like trying to give me. Thanks. I don't know why. Okay, I'll try again.
I put it in the private chat. Boop, boop, boop. That's me making noises. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when I try to open the pinks, they're like grayed out. Maybe I'm not. Am I doing?
Is it like a package file or
Well, can you hit share screen?
So
and then
that's what I
switch
was
to that
trying to
tab?
do. I was trying to do it to the share screen button, and then it says slides and PDF. So I guess that doesn't.
Well, you should have an option for images,
Okay, when I
image
is.
file.
Okay. Maybe I was doing the wrong one. Haha. Thank you. Okay.
There we are.
Oh, okay.
Opened.
I thought that was what you were going to do the screen because
Yeah.
I had to pause a couple of times for that, mostly because like during the
Okay.
first time, like the
I think
first
it'll
time
only
through
let
for
me
the
do
first
this
few
one at a-
minutes.
I think it will only let me do this one at a time though. So because I
Yeah.
did all of them, and now it's only showing this one.
Well, at first, like
Yeah.
I thought they were showing the characters younger, and then I was like, okay, when they're not showing certain people with their makeup, I was like, oh, I see what they're doing now. It didn't hit my
Yeah,
brain
these
right
are-
away.
Okay. Here, because if everyone has not read these, a lot of them are really good.
Oh, I can't wait to ask people like who wrote this.
Yeah.
I assume it's not just the authors of the episode, but Kurtzman
No, I
and Beyer.
doubt.
I bet this was a different thing. They let other
Yeah.
people do it.
Okay, I don't. Am I able to
They're
like
fun.
zoom in on this at all? to try
Yes,
and...
but how you do that on yours, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Because if you're sharing the
just
image
say
directly, I don't think you can.
enhance.
If you were sharing your screen, that'd
Like
be
Blade
different.
Runner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enhance. That's how it works, right?
That's what they did in
Also-
Superheroes.
Here's a picture of young Holly Hunter.
Here, let me see.
I was also
something.
going to say that like the one thing I wish they would have done for characters who are not part of this graduating class, like Ake and the Doctor, I wish they would have put like which class they were actually of, like class of blank.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that would have been fun, but then also
Yeah.
confusing.
No, they just
Well-
grouped them all together.
First starting
It
one.
didn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
That was okay. It doesn't make sense, but it's fine.
Well, it's like the yearbooks and stuff where you still see like the teachers like
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
yearbooks of like grade school and stuff, and it's like, well, they're also in this class, yeah, but they're like they
But
are
they
and
should be
aren't.
the class of though. That's the staff shouldn't have that.
Yeah.
By the 32nd century, such limiting things are gone. We're all the class of 3196 in the 32nd century.
Okay, I'm curious now.
Yeah.
I can.
And the longer you're at Starfleet, the more like Starfleet
Yeah.
rings you get. You just have like Ake just has like a whole room that is just full of the
Yeah.
rings.
Hundreds of them. That's what Noose really hated because
Search real
he wanted
quick.
the rings.
Okay. Yeah, but how to do this like one? I
Give
don't
me a
think I'm
second.
doing this the best way.
Give me a second, Rachel. I've got it here. I think. Possibly.
Okay, let me see if you are better
Give me a
at.
minute, because I can zoom. Because I can at least zoom in within reason. Okay.
Yeah.
Share my
At least the
screen.
way I
for
was
me.
doing it, it wouldn't let me zoom, which is kind of hard for the words.
Yeah. Go ahead and
Yeah, the pictures show up great in those size, but yeah.
Okay.
click present.
here's-
Okay,
this
so
is
there we
Paul.
go.
Yeah.
Because then I can do
I also
that.
love Paul
Okay,
sending
yeah,
this
that's better.
insane feral photo of him.
Yes.
All right, so let's
He was
see
an
here.
insane child, I would think. Yeah, it's great.
All right, so we got Jaden, the class of 3196. Just because you leave your brain to science doesn't mean science has to take it. Most likely eventually retire from Starfleet to become a balladeer.
Oh, these will be great things to like get a picture up. I don't know if
Oh,
we'll
get,
have
like,
them. Print them
signed?
out and get them to sign it.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh,
Yeah.
also,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Also, some of them are referencing each other. Like Jaden's
Oh,
is
I know.
referencing. Caleb
I
says
love
he
that.
It's a
survives
whole
Jaden's
comedy
omelet.
bit with callbacks and
Yeah.
it's so good. That's why I'm trying to. Who wrote this? It's gold.
Well, it definitely,
Love it.
it's definitely exactly what you would expect from like an actual high school yearbook.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I I can't. But yeah, my high school yearbook has a Buffy quote with "Here endeth the lesson."
Nice.
I was in the key of Braca. Biggest wish, a do-over, and also a makeover.
I hope next season we get a scene of Paul Giamatti in some kind of space prison, and he's just
Oh,
singing
yeah.
at us.
Oh, I would.
Nova Squadron.
So
I love that when I saw that.
here's what I want. I want one episode of Noose Braca. Use him like Hannibal Lecter.
Mm-hmm. I love
Well,
that
I
there's
feel
no
like you
Nova
kind of
Yeah.
have to at this point because like my questioning is like so like there is like no point in which Starfleet will do like the death penalty because like he keeps escaping. So it's kind of like yeah.
It's Joker
oh, and by the
syndrome.
way, the last
Yeah.
time he was
Yeah.
here, he almost took you all out, like everyone. So
Nope, he's
No,
in
they're
the
gonna
New
Hannibal
Zealand
Lecter
prison.
him.
yeah.
He's in
Uh,
New Zealand prison doing the Paris
Yeah.
things.
Oh, I love that right there. Most likely.
Also, my favorite trope is when the previous villain has to come back and do something to
Yeah.
help with the new villain,
Yeah.
or if the new villain kills previous villain to show how capable they are. But I don't feel like that's
Or-
necessarily necessary in a Star Trek show.
That would be so weird in a Star Trek show.
What does it say? Sometimes you're the squatch.
This is the one we don't understand. I think.
Swatchicalipus.
Watch
Sometimes you're the
sometimes you're
king
the
bug.
Kiwi bugs that just keep flying.
I mean,
Most
it's
likely
probably
become-
something just
It's some Grateful Dead thing or something like she got from
Most likely to become a highly decorated admiral, an infamous space outlaw, or both. Hope dreams asleep. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I think there's Cake is a Turtle. I want to point out Fancy Pants is also still hot. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's also definitely just a picture of Oed Badir, because I think of him from the 2000s Resident Evil movies is always the first thing I think of, and I feel like that
Yeah.
was like from
Oh,
that
okay.
era.
that's me. Okay.
oh, interesting. I always go like the Mummy.
Yeah, I do too.
Mhm.
Oh
I
my
saw
god!
Resident
I don't know
Evil
why I
too,
blanked
but
it.
I don't know why.
That's why I was like, so you might be the only person. Like
No, you're right. I was like, well, no, because I think the reason that I go there is because in that he has short hair, and in this he has short hair, and
in
he has
that
long
here,
hair.
sure.
In the
That
Mummy.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, his hair's similar.
I also Tig Notaro with long hair threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I, like
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like,
I still love that. Why do I come after the two voices?
yeah.
That was so freaking hilarious. Laura Thawk, okay. There's a
Okay,
dance
that
square.
is such a cute photo.
Mhm.
It's adorable.
The
Also,
kitchen
I
is my
feel
dance
bad,
floor.
Jason. Did you have anything else you want to say about the actual episode? No, we're just looking at people's baby pictures.
Oh no, like I just generally
Yeah.
like I like it was a fun emotional ride, and I appreciate like I think the only thing is like I
Baby
kind of
twins.
appreciated that they didn't like as much as we talked about it that they didn't do the whole like thing like oh she is secretly like actually double-sided thing with
Yeah.
Tatiana like because I'm kind of like oh you know what that's humble, that's nice, I'm with it.
Damn, I didn't catch this. I didn't see all of them.
I could definitely see Tiggs being involved in writing hers, but I'm wondering if like just I'm guessing like
Or
of who I
Colbert.
know on the writing who I like know of on the
Tig
writing
or
staff.
Colbert could have written all of it. They're both
Yeah.
good enough.
But I was like I could see Tawny being involved in a lot
She
of
could
these.
too, because she could
Especially
write
like
stuff.
this
That's why I
one.
want to
Yeah.
ask at a con, because I
She
never
was
have
the-
questions, but I'm like, I need to know this.
Because she's the president
I
of the
think this is
San
my
Francisco
next
Fan Club.
yeah, I could like the next time I see like Toddy at a convention because she's the one because I could see the actors unless they did help write them, not knowing who wrote these.
Yeah.
But I could see a writer on the show. I would imagine.
Karima, Akam, you're thinking too loud.
Boo to
Most
your,
likely.
boo to your school not having quotes.
I think the accidentally lose Caleb in an alternate dimension is a hint for season 2.
Oh.
I have no basis for that, but that's where my
Yeah.
my conspiracy brain's gonna go.
That's the Easter egg.
Yeah.
In his computer. He's purring me to helium. Number one fear laryngitis. Nisha Mir.
Oh, and if you see the digital dean wants laryngitis.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Yeah, the
insane.
great. Yeah,
Yeah.
bringing back the jokes is so good.
I'm too tired to sleep. Secret skill. Party DJ. Ripping Achilles and never know.
Yeah.
There's
Run
the
it
dog.
off, Genesis. run
Maybe
it
I'm
off.
more like Jess than I thought because I definitely understand too tired to sleep.
Yeah.
Look at Mr. Bob Picardo there. Most proud of
The EMH
Sam.
was actually never this young.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
That was the one thing I was like, I really liked this. At the same time, I was like, from a in-universe
I don't
position, I was
care.
like, wait a
I
second,
love
what?
It doesn't matter for me.
No,
I love it.
listen, yeah. That's why I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't question it too much.
Well,
like
that's why it's kind of like a little bit of both because, like I
Yeah.
mentioned, for the
Yeah.
first few seconds before it took my brain a second to register that this is not them like just taking pictures of the actors and pretending they're like the younger characters. They're just simply using younger actor
Well,
pictures.
That
And-
would have been insane for Sam, who they have a younger version of they could use
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
take a picture of Carice Brooks. And she's like, why don't you use that actress you hired? Nah,
And
this
the
is
little
easier.
yellow thing.
She already left for the day. We can't bring.
Yeah. Take a screen.
Or just on top of
Although-
like crediting everything else, like it's because that some of the stuff, even when it comes to like the like especially like the older actors, like like Robert Picardo and everything, where it's just like okay, but the thing is, even with those, the descriptions and stuff and how detailed they are, it's kind of
Yeah.
like it's odd because
Oh.
like we know we're gonna do that what we just did, like the zooming in
Yeah.
and everything, but so like okay, but this is on screen, but it's credits. So is it canon? But how?
Yeah.
Turn off
It's
rain, insert
canon-ish.
popcorn, continue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Canon-ish.
Yes, I want to point what Aaron is pointing out in the chat that he wants to be the actor, like he's the doctor. I believe his fear is also nicknames. Because I guess if you can't choose one is the reason.
But instead,
1,000
he's
years he
also
still hasn't
called
chosen a
Fancy
name.
Pants,
Yeah.
strangely. But I
No,
don't
the
know
doctor trying to choose a name is me reacting anytime asking me, so where are you from? And I was like, I don't know how to answer that fucking question.
True.
It's funny that like someone like I just said a really cute photo of me, and someone's like, here's an insane photo of me as a child.
And Paul Giamatti says, "Here's me as a chaos gremlin." There you
Yeah.
go.
And they're like,
I,
Paul, can you send a different one? He's like, no,
okay,
not
I
at all.
had to do that when I did MTV True Life, they asked me to send a bunch of pictures of like me when I was younger because they wanted to do the whole like showing me through my life thing before they got to the present. And it's just one of those things that was like they usually have a bunch of pictures, like they had so many, and then they're
Yeah.
just going to choose a few. So it's like send us all these. These aren't enough pictures, but you're only going to use a couple. So even in these cases, I have a feeling kind of the same thing. Send us a bunch of pictures from when
Yeah.
you were younger.
I was saying with
And
someone, I watched an interview. I want to say with someone like, my brain is George Clooney. I don't know that that's right. That said, like he just has a file on his computer to send to people when they ask him for like productions, asking for like a childhood photo of himself.
I bet the
Smart.
agents eventually just get them and like
Yeah.
just give them all to me, and then I'll work it out. You won't have to be
Mhm.
bothered later.
It also I do like that better. I find it so funny when the photo someone has is a still that makes no sense for someone to have a photo of. A
Yeah.
perfect example is somehow in 10 Forward in Picard or in Guinan's. There's a picture from the Nexus apparently.
Oh, really?
mhm.
Yeah, there is.
There's a picture of her
Hey,
and Picard in the Nexus.
Photographers went to the Nexus too, and some of them
Yeah.
left, but they took their cameras.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
And
Somehow.
I'll say, but with the wibbly wobbly timiness of the Nexus, you don't always know
Somehow
how to
the
get that.
photo-
Somehow we
Photographs
we got it like 300 years early, and they went, "Can you give this to Guinan whenever she gets?"
Really?
She loves photos. She's gonna want it. Trust me.
No, Guinan actually remembered it
Yeah.
somehow, even though she wasn't in there. And
But
painted
also,
it.
More,
like even more normal ones, like they just people are staring off in a way you would not if someone was taking a photo of you.
Well,
Unless
I see that a lot in like
Yeah.
like Doctor Who does that pretty commonly too when they
Yeah.
show like stuff like the Doctor in like the past, and it's like, wait, how do you have that file or the pictures or everything of the Doctor like that when like you couldn't like,
The one
it's-
I don't know why this is the one that always pops in my head. There's one in Days of Future Past where he has like a picture of like Raven / Mystique. To be like I can't remember, we established last episode they were like brother and sister. But it's like the way she's staring, I don't think that is a still of Jennifer Lawrence. That is not like
More egregious to me
Yeah.
is that it's 2026 and we're still getting like bad photoshopped things of two actors together, like supposed to be in the past.
yeah.
We've gotten so much better at Photoshop. Why are these photos still looking like this?
Yeah. Like I was like,
Good
I'm not
Photoshop
mad they're
takes time.
photoshopped. I'm bad at how bad this Photoshop job is.
was
That
especially
intern
when
had to
you're
do all the
grading stuff where
pictures
it's,
in
like,
10
basically in the
minutes.
back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a funny thing is because I remember there was a whole thing of like and Greg mentioned this. Greg Aronowitz, who is one of the producers of Power Rangers SPD. He did a whole year last year because it was like 20 years later, and it took place in the year 2025. So he was doing these behind the scenes stuff a whole year, and he mentioned how one of the scenes had like Sky had like a picture of like his father in like one scene. He's looking at like the picture. He sets it down on the desk, and then it's suddenly like a picture from like the first Sentai series. It's an entirely different photo. Like, and so not only that, it's like they grab multiple pictures to throw in the scene, and it's just like that's just an entirely different picture frame.
Oh well.
This is fun. I think I
Like,
did this once with a group of like people on Tex-Trek. Is that I like sent in, except I was in the group. I was the only one where it logically would have made sense that I was blonde as a baby, so everyone went Rachel. Like,
I was blonde until I was 5. It's weird.
There's such a direct through line that you would immediately know it's me between how I looked as a kid and how I look now.
I was besides the fact, like I like very as a baby, it's very blonde, and then it got darker. Even like in high school, it's like darker, like naturally than it like now than it was then. It's me and one of my brothers. It's that, and then the other brother. It's been the same hair color the entire time.
Yeah.
I was
I
blonde
had
in high
dark
school, but
brown
only
hair
because
at
I
age
dyed it.
5, but before that, blonde.
But one of my the brother that so I had blonde hair till like a toddler. Then it was dirty blonde. It's gotten darker. One of my brothers, his hair that's darker than me now, had like light blonde hair till like 3rd grade. And I was like, that was like,
And
way
then the
longer.
stress caused it to go gray. And, yeah.
So, everybody, what do you think the world-ending catastrophe is going to be in next season of Strange New Worlds and Academy?
Somehow end up being the same thing.
Yeah.
Somehow,
New Sprocket goes back to the
returns.
23rd century?
Yeah.
That'd be crazy, actually.
That'd be hilarious. They just would screw it.
It'll
We're
just
going
be like
all
Picard
time
and
travel this
Prodigy and
year.
everything. We're like, because the
Screw
shows
you,
still don't talk
time
to each other.
travel.
Well, now I just want a crossover episode between Strange New Worlds and Starfleet
Yeah.
Academy.
It
Somehow.
would be glorious.
Listen, we
Oh
got
my God,
one with
Laura,
Lower
Thok,
Decks. If we
and
can do
Tig.
that, we can do
Yeah.
anything.
Laura,
I
Thok,
think
and
it's
Tig
more
went back
likely
to the Enterprise.
Academy. Let's talk about we get a hologram of the Strange New Worlds characters.
Yeah.
And
Fine,
they're
take the
solving
easy
a
way out.
mystery.
I was like, if that was okay.
In period clothes, so Rachel can cosplay.
Actually, kind of like how Sam had to solve, had to solve what happened to Benjamin Sisko. The idea of them trying to solve something from the 23rd century, and they just end up doing a holodeck episode with
Yeah.
those actors. That could be fun. I feel like we would have heard about it by now, but
Well, yeah,
fun to
no,
think about.
they could do follow-ups to follow-ups. Like you could have Paul Wesley as Kirk, but you basically just so it's like, oh, that's what happened after Picard, like when they have Kirk from After Generations. So he goes from like being
Oh.
Paul Wesley to William Shatner back to Paul Wesley because some sort
And
of
he
cryogenic
brings all the
cloning or whatever.
pictures from the Nexus. It makes sense.
Yeah.
he also has a bunch of pictures from the Kelvin timeline somehow.
And yes, and weird
Oh.
near universes that aren't quite,
Hey,
but they just wear
here-
silly
hey,
costumes.
Here's Aaron being logical that there's a character. There's Lanthanite on Strange New Worlds.
Yeah, there is.
Have we established exactly how long Lanthanites live? Like, not that,
Nope.
like, I think she could still be alive. I just was
Yeah.
curious. If
Helia
we have,
is
if we have
like
any...
4,000 or 5,000 years old.
Yeah.
Okay,
in
so
Stranger
yep,
Worlds.
yeah,
Yeah,
long time.
I think I
So Aki
like,
is only half Lanthanite, but she's only
this was
400.
according to Noose, so take this with a grain of salt. But
Yeah.
he seemed to imply they were functionally immortal.
It seems, I mean, basically, once you hit a couple thousand years, yeah. Basically.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
seem to
I
be
mean,
like.
we don't
They don't
know.
seem
I
to
don't
be.
think they are vampires. I'm just going to use this as the fictional thing that
Yeah.
has this. It's like vampires can die, but they're not going to like die of sickness or old age. Like you have to
They
Correct.
die
physically
so
kill
easily,
them.
too. People say they're immortal, but it's like they can't go out in the light or they'll die. I mean, come
Yeah,
on.
Mhm.
They're
that's why
fragile
it's
little
functionally
things.
immortal, which is
Yeah,
different.
as long as, they have their sunscreen. And
Yep.
I mean, they can do that. I mean, it varies by universe. Buffy, they can just go, ow, 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 and run in the sunlight or whatever with a umbrella.
Well, technically, originally they like in the original like novellas and stuff like it just didn't have their powers in sunlight. Like they didn't nothing
Yeah.
happened other than that.
It was Nosferatu was the first kill a vampire with sunlight thing, the movie. So
And so I kind of think with like Lanthanites, you'll see stuff change like over time, like just like that. Like the lore would generally change because right now, I mean, we pretty much got to face it. Like Lanthanites are basically like their way of kind of doing the Doctor without being able to do the Doctor because those shows want to cross over so badly. And so it's, I mean,
Or
we
an
had a
Illyrian
TARDIS in the
without
effects
doing
thing in Strange New Worlds, like so it's kind of
Guinan.
like, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking
But
that too, RC.
the
I was like,
Lanthanites
maybe
are
they
slowly hunting each other down and beheading each other till there's only one. So
Oh, maybe there can only be one. Oh no, is that actually how her son died?
Q Queen. That's right.
Kova should be
Yep.
so cool.
The quickening. Lightning, lightning, lightning. Ah! That's my impression of Highlander the series. Sorry. I had to.
Actually, I wouldn't mind seeing
I've
either of
only
them
ever
in
seen
Star Trek.
the first movie
because they're
Highlander.
I mean they're all actively acting right now and basically like when he did Kurgan, like now he's just kind of doing like a little bit of everything now and he's still acting, so like I'd like to see him in Star
Yeah,
Trek
we have had him. So,
again.
they have pictures of the new. Oh, Batista's the new Kurgan in the reboot.
Oh.
But Cavill is almost the same height. He doesn't really lord over him the same way. Because Batista's, built, not
Yeah.
the tallest.
Well, it's the same thing, just like with Star Trek. Like I think, like in comparison, like when we see stuff in Star Trek now, we're kind of used to not having like in recast and stuff. So it all depends on the franchise. Like with Star Trek, it's kind of like, oh, we have these new characters as like playing the same character, but they're different actors. Whereas with like Star Wars, we mentioned this before, like Star Wars doesn't like to recast. They just like to like CGI and make them look the same forever, and it's kind of like
Yeah.
Well, unless they find someone who just freakishly looks like them.
Like
Yeah.
they did for
Mon
movies.
Mothma looks so freakishly like
They
the original.
did, and they still put
And they
Mark
left out that
Hamill's
she's
face
an
over it.
extraordinary actor.
I
So
what I thought, this is a Star Wars rant, is I remember, I think it was Kathleen Kennedy giving an interview where she was like, we don't really, like, recasts don't really work. We're not, like, we don't really do recasts anymore. What she was promoting during that was Obi-Wan, a show based
Yeah.
on the fact that someone really fucking liked a recast.
yeah,
I was like, the fuck are you talking about?
here's the corpse of Alec Guinness.
Okay, I think bringing back dead actors is creepy, like, at minimum. It's
yeah.
real weird.
Or when they tweaked what's his name in was it Rogue One where they had
Tarkin?
Al-
Yeah.
or,
Tarkin,
Cr-
but they had the
Crushing,
guy
yeah,
from
Peter Crushing.
Farscape playing him, and he
Just
looks
have
so. It's the guy who plays
Yeah.
from Farscape.
Like, I don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Harvey.
I
and all
don't
that
think
stuff.
digital de-aging looks that good most of the time.
But he
I
looks
don't
so
like.
much. He has
Yeah.
the cheekbones. They didn't need to.
They did
touch
not
them
need
up.
to do it.
Just
And
let him, the cheekbones
digital
do it.
de-aging, a lot of the times, I personally don't think it actually looks that great. But I don't have like a moral stance about it the way I have about the bringing dead people back.
The only
Yeah.
one I
It's
can
just
think of
like
offhand
any
that looked really
filter on
good was,
Instagram. It's cheap filters, and it's
Yeah.
like your skin gets weird. Oh boy.
but yeah, the only one I can think of that
it's
looked really
also
good
attracting
was
to the actor, where like because you also have to have a good
Oh,
performance with
interesting.
it. Because like
Yeah.
I mean, and even if it's like say like not even digital de-aging, if it's just like deep fake type stuff, which is essentially using the same technology for digital
Yeah.
de-aging, and it's like when they did like the whole thing of like Seth MacFarlane doing Bill Clinton on Ted, and it's kind of like,
Yeah.
but Seth MacFarlane isn't acting like Bill Clinton, so the face reference that he's doing already makes it feel off. Like
Yeah.
where you're kind of like, okay, you know this is what's happening, but it feels even more off because you know who's acting and
Okay.
they're not doing a
I-
full performance.
Do you want to know what? Like, I think my point is, I thank God every day I'm not watching Strange New Worlds with a creepy, like, deep fake Leonard Nimoy staring at me.
Oh God.
Can you imagine?
I did.
That
then
is
you
not
won't
hot
get-
Spock. Not hot Spock.
No.
Then you wouldn't get, like, you would lose out on those moments. Like, I'm gonna forget the name of the episode. The episode where they do Iron and Mercy.
Okay, I did this at one point. I did this discovery based Jeffrey Hunter
Oh,
as
Yeah.
Pike. and
but
and I was just like, it still looks off, and I know
Yeah.
I'm the one that photoshopped it meticulously, and I'm just like, this still is wrong.
oh no, Nimoy was hot. Fake Leonard Nimoy would not be hot. Real,
Yes, that's what I
real,
mean, yeah.
real
Yeah.
Leonard Nimoy hot. Creepy fake one, no. My what the hell was I gonna say about that the episode they do Aaron of Mercy and they recreate the shot of his eyebrow going up. That would not fucking hit as much if it wasn't a different actor doing it and hitting the moment so well.
Yeah.
Like that's like
Yeah.
it was like, oh my god, it was a moment of, oh my god, look how good Ethan Peck is. If it was just like, oh look, we made a weird CGI puppet that can't actually emote, by the way. None of them put out good performances.
Yeah.
I hate them all. They're like, look, this thing looks exactly like a young Mark Hamill. Cool, can it act?
Muppets
no,
can
it just
emote
stands
more.
there. I
Well,
hate
We have
that.
a
that's the whole
puppet
thing.
episode
If it's
coming,
just
and that
standing
puppet
there
will
for a
emote
few
more.
seconds,
Yes, it will.
yeah.
with the digital de-aging conversation earlier, like I was trying to think, I was like, the only good example I can really think of was Samuel L. Jackson in Captain Marvel. But at the same time, was it Clark Gregg?
Yeah.
Yeah, meanwhile his digital de-aging did not look good.
Yeah. It was
So like, it's not even
weird.
consistent in the
I wonder
same
if we just
thing.
have so much footage of Samuel Jackson.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
But
Probably a
also,
factor.
okay, and this was early, so this might not be fair, but the digital de-aging on Patrick Stewart in X-Men Origins, which is also just a bad movie, is bad. And we have a lot of
That's-
footage.
It's terrible.
Yeah, but that was back in 2006. I'm not going to
Yes.
give them too much
you
crap,
got-
but I watched that recently and it was bad.
Yeah.
Think about
That
the
is,
amount-
it was like a 2006 video game.
Yes, it looks like a video game of Patrick Stewart. came out.
Cutscene. Yeah.
I think that also, I was thinking it might have been that Samuel L. Jackson is just aged in a way where
He's gotten grayer. That's what it is.
That's
He's
it.
aged well, but like if you put a picture of him from Jurassic Park side by side, like he's aged.
Oh, no,
It's,
yeah.
you know,
He's
there's-
aged.
There's lines. There's
But
lines,
also,
but-
like, Samuel Jackson was, like, for a while, if someone had told me he was anywhere between, like, 40 and 70, I would have been like, yeah, sure. That makes sense.
Kinda, yeah.
like,
Well,
He's
a
got
lot of
one of
times it's
those
like
faces.
on top of that, it's basically like where you have other actors too. In this case, like I saw it the other day with Wyatt and Kurt Russell like promoting the new Godzilla TV series thing, and like Wyatt constantly gets things of like, oh, you would be like great as Snake, like doing like a reboot like with like Snake, and he jokes about how like he's 10 years older than Kurt was when Kurt did the role,
But he looks so much younger.
and,
Yeah.
and it's just like, yeah, Wyatt and Kurt do look a lot alike, and so something like that where it's kind of like, hey, do a younger thing, his son is acting and exists, and so that, and they're doing that now as doing the different characters, and it
Yeah.
shows how that reflects, where you can basically have, hey, younger, older.
Yeah, really.
Although I did think it was weird for like the Hunger Games where people kept insisting that like the younger actors of two people who had passed had it, and I was like, has it never occurred to you that emotionally they don't want to do that for like their
Yeah.
own trauma? I was gonna say, especially Philip Seymour Hoffman's like son, who I have to imagine had like trauma surrounding his father's death.
Well, I think it like also depends because like like how much time has passed. So, like for example, when I don't like referencing this that often, but it's a thing. Where James Doohan's son when he did Scotty in Star Trek Continues. And it's like, oh, you were able to like do the accent and everything so well. Yeah, because it's freaking dad. He hears him talk every day. It's enough time has passed that he was willing to do it.
The
Yeah, totally.
internet
I
seems to have stabilized
yay!
now that the show's almost over.
You punch a hole in Noose's wall of death,
That,
and now the comms
yeah.
are good for 2
Although
minutes.
that is
Yeah.
the daughter, my mom apparently at some of the daughter or son playing a younger role of someone. My mom at some point I guess caught an episode of Young Sheldon, and then like caught an episode of that. So it's her daughter that plays the mom. It's like Laurie Metcalf's daughter that plays
Zoe.
her.
No, what's
Yeah.
her name?
Yeah, and so my mom was like, "How did they find an actress?" I was like, "That is her daughter." She went, "Okay,
her
that
daughter.
makes sense." Yeah.
Yeah, it's Lori.
That's a rarity, yeah.
Yeah. And it was like it works that they're both her daughter's also a very good actress, and so it worked.
Yeah.
Like cuz I could see it also being a thing where like your kid looks exactly like you. We've cast them. And
They
then
can't
you watch them
yeah.
and you're like, "Oh no."
You can stand in the background. There you go.
yeah,
yeah.
Lori Metcalf is the mom, and Zoe Perry is the daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that I've gone on my rant about how much I
Yeah.
hate deepfakes.
We've officially returned from going off the rails here on the first reaction.
So anyway,
stream.
Star Trek.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Hey, I was complimenting Star
keeping
Trek for
on
not
that Star
doing
Trek
that
thing.
shit.
Like I came like kind of almost as like a side thing of that. We're adjusting back into Star Trek. I still would love to see Jack Quaid do a remake of Enemy Mine. Because like that's
That
the
would be
first
gold.
one of
Yeah.
the first movies I saw his dad in.
As Boimler
And-
somehow too, though.
Yeah. And so
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God,
hey, we got,
making
Jack
it a
Quaid has done
comedy?
Star Trek. He's like,
Wow,
he's in
he could do
sci-fi
it.
now. Like,
Yeah, who would be the other? Because I mean, Louis Gossett Jr. has left us. Who could play him? I don't.
Oh yeah.
Eugene.
Jaden's actor.
Yeah.
Kareem. Yeah, he could
Kareem.
do it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Kareem could do it. Yeah.
I feel like because when he's doing the Jaden voice, it's like that's what it kind of reminded me of originally. Like I know
Yeah.
he's trying to do like the Klingon thing, and it's
Yeah.
kind of like
I know it's
Oh,
so
that
weird when I
reminds me
first
a
heard
lot
his
of,
real
like-
voice.
Used to
Whoa.
makeup.
yeah.
Yeah, no, his voice was so different in a way. The first time I heard Stephanie Beatrice off of like not playing Rose on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I was like, "That's what your voice is."
Huh? Yeah.
I was like, one.
Well, the first time I saw his
congratulations
social
on your
media
talent.
videos,
Two,
I
what?
didn't realize it was him because he was shooting the rest of like things that were going on set.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I wonder like who he got to do his social media. And then like the next video I see is him speaking on camera, and I'm just
No.
like, oh, like
Well, see, I thought that voice was just all digital at first. Didn't realize.
Yeah.
Karim?
There's a little
There's
thing in it,
digital. I
but
don't.
it's the
there's
deepness is him.
For
yeah, I don't-
Jaden?
yeah.
Yeah, that's him.
I don't because there is some scenes where they're doing the digital thing. I don't
There
think
is
he
a
needs
little,
it.
but
I don't think he
they
needs
need
it. I don't really know.
Well, they
why
did that
they're-
with Worf.
He's a big
in
guy.
in some of the movies. Michael
It's-
Dorn doesn't need that. No.
Yeah. It feels like someone being really nitpicky about like
Especially
how
after he's done it for 11 years on TV. He doesn't
Yeah.
need it different in the movies.
Correct.
it's
Well, they
ridiculous.
generally do it when they're going for more Klingon gravel.
Mhm.
Like if it's like
Dorn
if
can
it's a
bring
more
it.
insightful conversation, they
Yeah.
generally don't. It's where they want that more like Klingon-esque sound.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, and like I said, he talked about that. Kareem has said he actually worked with Michael Dorn for a while to get his voice properly clinging.
I mean,
clinging
I
on.
have to imagine
sense.
like the amount of
Klingons?
throat lozenges
Yeah.
they would need to like not hurt at the end of the day after doing that.
I just remember Mary talking
Today is a good day to lose
talking
your
with the,
voice.
Yeah.
Yes.
the prosthetics is just like difficult.
Well,
It's like, I'm trying to do the Klingon words. I
God.
can't because my teeth
Kareem
are coming
doesn't
out.
That
have to worry
reminds
about
me
that.
there was like 2 versions of the vampire prosthetics on Buffy. That one was a lot easier to put on, but one was like if you speak, you get this one. If you're not talking, you get the other one. Like
Yeah.
Mm.
I think it was like
yeah.
2 or 3 episodes in, they like retooled the teeth.
Yeah,
I can see
when
that
they were
happening.
shooting.
Because they
Yeah.
look frightening.
yeah.
Oh, but you can't talk. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of Star Trek makeup gets tooled a couple episodes in. Look at God, what is
Armin,
it? Armin and
Yeah.
Odo and
Odo.
Quark look
Yeah.
really odd and
Armin
My
and
favorite
Odo
is
vocally is amazing.
Worf,
through
just
those
because like they lost it. They lost the mold.
Yeah.
Oh.
oh my
And
god.
it's just one of those things of like, oh
Yeah,
hey,
Quark's
okay, we
teeth-
gotta make a new
Armin's
makeup
teeth
for
were
you.
stolen. Or what? He went in his trailer and came back out, and his teeth were gone.
That's
So
bonkers.
sad. Denture thieves.
Someone stole
Uh,
Armin's teeth.
See,
Somebody
that
sell
seems
them
at
on
least
eBay.
easier to me than whoever stole the like TNG captain chair.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like, how did they get that out of the building?
Have you seen the video
Well,
where
it
there's
was
like
like
with a
I think it was
camcorder when
Strange
they're on
New
the
Worlds
set?
where they had like
Yeah.
this
It's really
There's
weird.
ways.
the joke about like what they would take off set, and like one of them mentioned like a face, it's like, no, you can't do that. That's like $5,000.
The new ones are like 15 in Strange New Worlds.
Yeah.
'Cause it's tooled metal. It's literally a hunk of aluminum tooled like that. Which is why they look amazing, the hero ones.
A lot of stuff is 3D printed too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I remember watching some interview. I think it was one of the oh my god, Lillian's after show they used to do. I can't think of the name of it.
Oh,
now.
Ready
After Trek?
Room.
Uh,
The Ready
uh,
Room.
Yeah.
Ready
The Ready
thank you.
Room.
Ready Room.
They one of them was like it was like the costume designer. He was like all the cool things I could do with the 3D printing and all the alien costumes, like. And then I remember
Yeah.
watching that and going, oh, those poor cosplayers. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the first thing we thought of when we saw it. It was like, oh, that's going to be hard to replicate.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I think the Discovery
Little
uniforms.
deltas
I remember
everywhere.
the little deltas
Discovery is always one that comes to mind because at
Yeah.
least they went back away from that and all of like the later designs. But the first Discovery outfit where it's like, okay, we've got little tiny deltas put into that. It's like, no, that is a costume designer thing. That is not a military thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's
That
not
too.
like, oh, you put little tiny things on there and you'll be able to look closely and see them in high
That's a waste
definition.
of-
And
Post
it's like-
scarcity, you can be
Yeah.
both the costumer
That's a
and the
waste of
military
budget
designer.
too. That's a huge budget waste for these series for them to get to that much detail.
Ah,
Yeah.
No, it
it's
really is.
expensive, but compared to a lot of the other expensive stuff, it's a cheaper expensive, I think, than some of the
I
other
don't
things.
know.
I think if you-
reproducing all those uniforms, that minor
Yeah.
detail gets very
Yeah.
it's very pricey. He's talking to some
But
Except on
I
HD,
don't know
you
if they're
kinda
all
need
that
something
detailed,
like
though.
that.
I assume
Yeah.
the hero ones were detailed, the background
Yeah.
ones weren't.
If you
Yeah,
see
I
like
think
the
some of them are
season
up
1
close.
Picard
They,
uniforms, they were
There
bad.
was a museum
Yeah.
exhibit near me where I got my dad had wanted to go specifically because it's like, oh, it's that thing that's in the background, the thing that lights up and that they talk about in an airplane.
Billups tunes?
Yeah.
Oh, the Billigs.
Yeah, and it was like we got to see those up close, but they also had like a bunch of different and like costumes from like Discovery and different stuff in Star Trek. You kind of see them up close, and I looked at them again, and I'm kind of like, why? Like this? I mean, it's great. It looks awesome. But it's also at the same time, it's kind of like from like a perspective of like you're only really going to see this in really close up shots. That
For me, it makes
The
cosplays.
Jurassic Park thing, you figured out
Yeah.
you could do it, but you didn't
Yeah.
know if you should.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron, I want to take a moment to say thank you for mentioning 3D printing. I hadn't thought of this. I have a 3D printer behind my shelf here, and I just went and looked, and I
Print
found a
yourself
file
some
for a phaser.
uniforms.
Yeah.
No, I can't print a uniform,
There
but
you
I found a TNG phaser, so there's that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Trek. Yeah, I've looked up
Oh,
the
I'm
Trek
sure if I look
STLs
deeper.
a lot. There's a lot.
You want the phaser that when you aim it this way, the beam goes that way.
Well, I can imagine
The
like
dust
now, like you know,
buster?
back
Yeah.
when they had to do that, it was like out of resin and like molding and like all that type of stuff. Like you know, back in the day
Vacuum
when like
molding?
Next Generation
Yeah.
stuff were
Vacuum
made,
molding, yeah.
and if you like went back in time and it's like, oh, I've got like 20 of them now. It's like, oh, how long did that take you? It's like, well, my 3D printer, and they like 3D printer. Like,
They're like, excuse
Your
me?
replicator?
Yeah.
you, have
Slow,
a replica-
yeah.
you have a real replicator.
I can't turn poop into everything, but I can turn plastic spools into many things.
Indeed.
Oh God, I'm just now remembering that scene with Vance and the apple.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like, it's pretty good.
I
for
think about that
shit.
anytime something's replicated now.
Yeah.
That was such a great scene.
Such a good
Yeah,
scene.
that's very memorable and all around.
I believe that was the scene where I eventually went, okay, I think he's actually not evil. Like,
Oh yeah,
Not
that's
Admiral.
right.
He went full Admiral.
You're wait-
Or
Yes.
okay, I think
Season
maybe,
2, he's gonna finally be an evil admiral.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
no,
think it
let's
was
not
like
go
then.
there.
Okay, I think at some point during season 1, I was like, or not season 1, the first season he was in.
yeah. Yeah.
Season 3, I was like, okay, he's not evil. Oh no, he's dead. And look, he spun off to a different TV show. So unlikely
Where he's both
for an
alive
admiral.
and good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not going to go full Badmiral. He's going to go full Fancy Pants. And you know
And
it.
I wonder with the with his beard being so much thicker, what he was getting ready to go start shooting after that.
I
A
mean,
lot of
my
rumblings.
theory is the mummy, right?
Mummy
I was gonna say the new Mummy movie, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I did the mummy.
He has not been confirmed to be in that, but I was like, that
But that
beard's
doesn't mean
real
anything.
full.
That's could be like, yeah,
Although-
Asian-y. Don't
wait,
say
is
it
the
yet.
mummy-
Wait till.
Maybe
Is the
lights to
mummy
do
is
it,
just
yeah.
being filmed now, right?
Yeah, it's just started filming. It's not.
Yeah.
done or anything.
When did
And
they
it might not have
finish
even started.
This is like 2
actual
years
film
ago
filming.
or a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, this was a while
Yeah.
ago now.
No, well,
But
they're
he was
paused in it
psychic
right
and he
now, at
knew
least,
he was
because,
Yeah.
like,
so.
at least Brendan and Rach, a lot of people are going to be at a convention that I'm going to this weekend. This is
Yeah.
like, they're still, they're doing other stuff, but they're in production, and
All right, so yeah. Maybe if like season 2 happens and Van somehow has like a Santa Claus beard.
Maybe that he's going to be the Canadian Christmas music and he's going to play Santa.
Yeah.
Well, I feel a lot of times
Yeah.
it's like because you can either do the Riker where he just suddenly has full beard, or you do the whole like, oh, where did he? He was kidnapped. Now we got to go find him.
Yeah.
Like,
He was trapped on an island with
that's
some
the 2 ways you do
balls.
beards when you don't have really that much of a beard on
I
television.
think what was funny about his is like he already had facial hair. It was just like he came back and they're
Yeah.
like, oh, that's fuller than normal.
He's just been really tired and like hasn't been able to shave just because
Yeah.
he's like dealing with all of these crises.
Yeah,
They-
we had to dismantle
because-
all of these like bonds that were placed
Yeah.
around the entire
Well,
Federation. It took
every-
so much time to coordinate that.
Exactly. Well,
Plus,
because
who knows what Discovery was dealing with, whatever world ending they were running into.
Yeah.
No,
Oh, yeah.
every series he's always
Every-
have to deal with a
Yeah.
galaxy ending attack. He's like, God dang it, why
What's
can you
funny-
just not have something
He's
go
always
with?
having to deal with it, but he's never able to be there. So he's like, I'm so stressed out, and like I can't actually figure out what's going on.
Well, that's why I
It's
appreciate at
frustrating
least they
that-
have some
that
sort
we
of
could
like
have done the
explanation
same-
with the expanded universe
Yeah.
like this, because like I mean they always do that in Trek where it's kind of like, oh, at least with Voyager it's kind of like, oh, well, why are you getting a Federation? It was like, well, it's way out there.
Yeah.
You know, but like because you had Deep Space Nine, it's like, oh, Dominion War is happening. Well, where's the Enterprise? You know, and it's kind of like, you know, during major stuff that happens to get other things going on. So like earlier in the season where they're like, oh, can we get there? It's like, yeah, Discovery can't get there. They're on another place. It's like, oh, okay. So what's Discovery doing? I kind of want to see that. Like, you know, it's just like you hear it mentioned,
Yeah.
and now you want to see those missions because the show's over. And so we didn't get to see much of like the Enterprise during Deep Space Nine because they weren't doing that show after Next Generation ended.
Yeah.
I think this episode could have been the same exact stuff could have happened without the giant bombs around the Federation.
Yeah.
They could have
just
captured
Beta's in,
them.
like I
They could-
said.
Yeah, they
just do
could-
one
yeah.
system.
He really hates
The new
Nahla.
capital.
Okay, I would have seen him as like,
No,
I
I know,
really
but-
hate this one woman. Just go after her and not do the whole world.
Yeah,
ending
exactly. I think what I like
Yeah.
about a lot of Discovery, I say, Starfleet Academy, is that it's not these giant stakes. Like we actually do get to see some school stuff, which I was like really worried we wouldn't. So I think, and that's the stuff that we enjoyed the most.
thing. Yeah.
And when Noose is the most evil, is not in the first episode, not in this one. It's,
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
in the middle one where the stakes are
creepy
much
one.
smaller.
That's why I wanted
He's
Hannibal
creepy
Lecter
as
one.
Shit. Yeah, that would work perfectly. Yeah. Go to his cell.
Yeah,
behind,
when you get 160
transparent
billion
aluminum.
people or whatever it is, that you kind of like it just becomes nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
I
okay.
think it becomes
Thanos is
so
at it
world
again.
ending.
Okay.
We're like, well, they're not going to let that happen.
Well, that too.
Well, it's kind of like when they did like generalized stakes, like it seemed like during this episode where they kind of have like different beats, and I knew they already did large stakes. My worry was when the doctor like brought out like Mobu emitter and was gonna like be like, oh wow, this is an emotional beat, but then it's like, oh, he's kind of doing that sort of as a sacrificial thing. Oh no,
Yeah.
please say you're not gonna do that. Like,
Yeah.
I was gonna wear my mobile emitter, but I left it over there.
because I'm
For
like, I know
1,000 years, he should put his
that
mobile
one.
emitter in a
Program in
case
there.
or something.
Yeah.
I think it was
He
inside of his
protect it.
hologram, not actually.
No,
his
I know.
clothes,
I just
but in
mean
the
silly.
middle.
Yeah.
You-
Well, I like how he
Protected.
said, "Take care of this. I've had it for 1,000 years."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, I
Yep.
love his emotional, like, I'm not upgrading it. It works.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah.
I'm
Like,
really
actually
hoping in
using the
season
update my
2 we
Kindle.
get the. I'm hoping we get the backup doctor.
Yeah. Who finally makes it?
He's
Yeah.
Zorro.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, you won't
Anyone-
believe what happened to me. Huh,
Okay.
What? Yeah.
But
Does
how
anyone-
different they could be, just all these different life,
Oh,
yeah.
Picardo would knock that out of the park. Oh god.
Mm-hmm.
He could do that. It'd be great.
Also, how
That's the
because he
big
got the
stakes
mobile
for season
emitter
2.
from the future, right? Like,
Yes, he did.
if I remember correctly.
But
how
he's
far
past
in
that
the future? We're past that point. So couldn't
like,
they
yeah,
make him
400
another
years.
one? I'm just surprised he has
Yeah.
the same one.
I assume that's
good
for
one.
emotional reasons.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Okay.
because they have established Sam has one.
Yeah. She's a teeny little.
But it's the more
I just figured-
organic looking one because the foot.
Yeah, I was just thinking they would transfer it
Or-
over time just to avoid
Or
breakdown.
no.
Or
Yeah.
maybe that's not actually what he's using day to day, but that program is on that one.
Yeah, because
Oh.
that's why he
I can see
loaded
that.
it into this computer. The metamaterial took it in there.
Yeah.
Programmable matter freaks me out for some reason.
Yeah.
It looked like they was sticking it on a brain too.
I'm gonna
Like
use
the way the
chopsticks.
pattern of the,
I'm gonna make
the
something.
thing was just very neural looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that pattern is creepy. The pattern that they put it on is creepy.
Yeah.
I don't like that. It's like those holes that they always put on Reddit. Like, people don't like this. It's like, yes. I
Yeah.
don't like
Expected
that.
it to
Go
be
away.
like squishy or something.
Tyophobia or
Yeah.
tyrophobia,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah, that's what it is. I couldn't remember. I don't need that.
Does anyone have any more last second thoughts about the episode?
Yeah, I had one. I don't think I'd mentioned it, but it's like, Reno really makes the end of the world here a teachable moment. And,
Yeah.
she
Oh,
is
yeah.
like such a good teacher.
Reno's
It's
like
like,
an
okay,
amazing
everything's
teacher in
going to
this
hell. We're
episode.
probably all going to
Yeah.
die. But in case we don't, you guys are going to come out of this learning something.
Yeah.
And we'll
And
give
then
you
also it's so
uh,
comforting in a way that's like completely in character.
here's a gold star too if you live for
Yeah.
your record.
I think like
So
final thoughts I had is basically just the fact that like, okay, we know like brain and stuff that like, oh, they filmed second season and everything, and like so had my brain not known that data and
Yeah.
thought, oh, are we gonna get a second season? That would have also been a good series finale.
Correct.
Like they
Yeah.
rounded it well to basically be like, okay, if we didn't get, we know we're getting more, but if we didn't know we were getting more, like
probably a
I'm
better
really-
series
Everyone got
finale than
something, but not
the
everything.
first
Which was
season.
it's a good point.
It reminded me of watching the last episode of Stranger World season 3, and we all went, they definitely thought this was the last episode at some point,
Yeah.
didn't they? Like,
Yeah. And I'm kind of wondering a little bit by that because they got the news like pretty decently into it, but at the same time, you got some pretty high caliber cast. You got a lot of costs and stuff involved, and
Yeah.
that could drop. And all the murmurs about Paramount at that time, like it was nowhere near like they didn't know. They knew Paramount
Yeah.
was trying to sell. They didn't know to who. So at
Yeah.
that point, when they were filming,
It changed
so it's
every
kind
5
of like,
weeks, it seemed
oh,
Yeah.
they could change tomorrow. Maybe we should kind of like write a thing just in case. That's what it had those beats to it.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, I liked it a lot. I am curious because it felt like they wrapped up so many stories. Like I have some ideas of what they can do character wise, like for individuals kind of storylines. I'm very curious because I don't feel like we were left with anything hanging enough to be
Oh,
like the
we
plot. Of,
It's all
do it?
Furfly
Okay.
next season. All
Yeah, no, I agree with you. They that's why I said at the beginning. I was very happy that they at least wrapped this season up. They didn't leave anything hanging, so that if something happened,
Yeah.
and as Aaron had mentioned earlier when he had to go just to the live chat, that even though they have filmed season 2, it would not be the first time a show has been filmed and never shown. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Paramount Plus. Is
I think if that happened with Star Trek, there'd be way more like.
live action,
yeah.
they're never gonna do it.
Yeah.
They
Well,
hate
honestly,
animation. They hate
It really
animation.
depends on the Warner Brothers thing because it's kind
Yeah.
of like, where are you
The
getting
Batgirl
money
and-
from? And so, like,
Mhm.
if
Yeah.
that does become a thing, yeah, they could like be like, okay, we can't invest into showing it. So it's not out of the realm of possibility when they're talking about those types of things. So
Yeah. no.
On the flip side, though, is even though what I was gonna say is on the flip side, even though I don't have necessarily a thread about what they would do plot wise, I also didn't know what they were gonna do. Like I did not follow very much of the pre-production of this, so I didn't know what they were gonna do going in, and I've been very satisfied. So they could, like I said, kind of do a whole
same
keep
here.
the same characters, but fully
Yeah.
different kind of story, and I'll probably be pretty happy with it.
Same. I
It's
can't
nice
wait.
to be surprised too.
Yeah.
by things that
What
happen
American
instead of like,
play
oh,
will
well, I
they
saw that
incorporate
coming.
into an episode next season? That's what I want to know.
I honestly wouldn't have minded. I know this isn't a thing because we know that they filmed season 2, but I honestly wouldn't have also minded it being somewhat of an anthology series where we follow like first year cadets and it's just different people. Like every year, maybe the teacher.
Grey's
would be the same,
Anatomy
but,
kinda.
like, yeah.
It would be all the teachers are the same. Sam still pops by. He's like, well, that's my dad. Hi.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
To save
also,
money, they're just
okay,
going to do the
wait.
entire set like this.
Speaking of that, I
It's our town.
forgot to mention when we were showing the credits. The doctor's thing, it says things he's proudest of, and it said Sam.
Yeah.
It was so cute.
It still gets me. The doctor.
They made me like, I love the doctor, and they're like, hey, Rachel, we made him like a really caring dad. And I was like, yes, my kryptonite in a fictional
A single
character.
dad trying his best.
Yeah. Darcy's Bradford for a while. That's my fictional type. I believe I like to say a hot mess dad type trying his best. I say dad type because Giles falls into this, and he is not technically anyone's father.
Well, he's dead. Yeah, he's dead type. For
Yeah.
sure. 100%.
Yes, I would love more Tilly. That is.
I
know.
love Dax
That was
too.
amazing. Yeah.
Sam could be
Yes,
in
I
her
would
class.
also love that.
We don't have to see her a lot. We could just see her, occasionally or whatever. Just
Yeah.
kind of no, she's there. That's cool. Yeah.
But yeah, they're like,
Get holograms to rock back again, please.
oh, I'd love that. Sam was like, I just talk to him sometimes. He's great.
I was about to say, I like the idea of her just going to him for like life advice.
She just has
Yeah.
to read the book. She just
Yeah.
borrows the book from Dax. As soon as she opens the book, Sirac.
Yeah.
And then
Connection noise and
she's like, I can't make a good
Maybe so we could
jambalaya.
have,
And he's like, okay, let me
Like
know.
a spiritual connection to another Star Trek character. Get like a hologram of. I'm trying to think of a random like Archer. I don't know why Archer popped in my head.
Why not?
Why not Archer?
Yeah, what's Scott Bakula up to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, we could get what's his face, the time traveling guy from Daniels, who
Yeah.
became.
Oh yeah, Kovic. We were wishing
Kovic,
Kovic
thank
would be
you.
fun.
Kovic is still around. Yeah, he could come over.
Yeah. Because we see him in the future because we
Yeah.
saw at the end
Which
after
shows-
Discovery.
Yeah, let's just really hone in on the people who are for some reason really pissed off about Holly Hunter wearing glasses.
Yep.
Everybody
I love
wears
that
glasses.
about Kovic. He's
Everyone
like, I
wears
just like them.
Yeah.
Which is so weird because in Cronenberg's movies, glasses are a theme.
Yeah.
It's just a weird thing. It's just
It's also
There's a whole,
okay,
like, weird
what I
scene in
find funny
Videodrome about
that
glasses.
thing. He was like, "Why would people still have bad eyesight?" And I went, "We currently have LASIK, and there are many people who do not get LASIK for various reasons."
And because the amount of screen stuff, it is over time is actually getting worse. So it's like it
Yeah.
would be more likely that we would have
Okay,
that problem
so like
in the
I've
32nd
had
century.
LASIK, and I use blue light glasses because we spend so much time on screens. Like,
glasses look good. Come on.
Yeah.
You know it.
I can't put contacts in my eyes. I have to do this.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah.
do that
Oh, I
either.
hated. I hated.
But also, I
contacts
just
so-
look good.
I hated contacts so much. I got like surgery instead.
I get to the point where I can't have contacts because I need the close and far thing at the same time.
Oh yeah. Do they have
That
like
fun age.
bifocal contacts?
They do. They exist, but
They-
they're hard.
They're
You
not
need to
great.
do
Yeah.
it,
They have to be weighted to do that, and then
Oh.
they're thin on the top. And like I had ones for astigmatism, and like I
No.
just
I'm like,
broke
I
them
can just
immediately.
put these on. That's just easier. It's
I
just
also
like,
for like if you have something like reading, for like if you just need glasses to read, like
right.
cheaters, yeah, that kind of thing.
Mine is driving. I can't see things far away.
yeah.
I just want like the whole like nano rope type thing where you just like tap the side of your head.
That would be nice.
Like when you need it.
Yeah.
Adjust your your restraining bolt. I mean your little thing.
And that would also like update your prescription too. Like you would
Dramatically.
like that's the future
Exactly.
thing. It's like, hey, you want new glasses? Oh, you want round ones now? Bam. Like
They
round
are
ones. Oh, you
such
want-
good props.
Yeah.
You can
Or
put
if
them in
you're
your
exasperated-
mouth.
Have you seen the
If you're
the Super
exasperated, you
Friends
can
meet
take them off.
Scooby-Doo?
It should be like facepalm.
I didn't see that one.
It was one of those things that was they shot and
yes, I know it.
and
Yeah.
it wasn't going to be played, and then they did put it out finally. But there's the thing what Velma's there and she takes her glasses off and Lois is like, "Where did Velma go?" Like, this whole, like,
That is the
like,
one.
what? Just like
It's
doing-
when it leaked
Oh,
before
Velma,
it
there you
originally
are.
got put out, and that was the one thing I saw. I was like, "Where the hell can I watch this? That's so fucking
Yeah.
funny."
It was great. I found it on archive.org before it actually officially launched.
Oh, okay.
Okay, any more last second before the salon is
The salon is
going
on, yeah. So
Yeah.
everyone should after us go
After
watch
us,
the
go
salon.
watch the salon, and
I'll
there
put the link in the
we
chat.
have our special brand of craziness. They have their own special brand of craziness. As everyone say, where we can find you around the internet.
I'm Chris Garrison. You can find me at the Transporter Room just about everywhere on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. So go find us and follow us.
You can find me around the internet at RC Byler. You can also find the podcast I do, Masks and Mayhem, that it includes Rachel and a bunch of our friends playing the superhero game Mutants and Masterminds. You can find that at Mayhemcast all over the internet or at masksandmayhem.com.
He's so much better at that than I am.
I record the credits. That
Yep.
That's the secret.
Yeah.
Rachel, record some credits.
This week's sponsor. No, just kidding.
This
just
week's
works
sponsor
well.
is someone who's already on the show. What?
Yeah, right.
It's meta.
you're listening
okay?
to
Kids love it.
WWTX.
Jason.
Yes, since we're doing the promos, like I'm
Yeah.
Jason M. Bray everywhere on the internet. I generally do different comedic live streams and sketches on TikTok and elsewhere, mostly TikTok and Instagram. I also do Toku Tuesdays, where every Tuesday with Rachel and other group of friends, we react to the latest episode of Kamen Rider Zets. Actually, going to have to do 2 this week and 2 of Geats because we postponed this week since I'm doing con prep and Rachel had some stuff going on. So we'll be next week.
You can find me at Geek Filter, just pretty much anywhere. Instagram. Oh yes, the book that Joel is holding is something that I designed and co-wrote with my friend Rich Shepis. And if you play Star Trek Adventures, there's some of my artwork kind of scattered throughout there. There's a new book coming out, and I don't know if the title has been said, so I won't say it, so I don't get in trouble. But there's gonna be artwork in that.
I'm Joel. I hold various things up on the internet, and also I'm on a lot of Tex-Trek things. And last week we were on Starfleet, So Hail After Dark. It was great. And he's holding the book down. Look at that. And let's see, what else are we doing here? Yeah. So tune in tomorrow at 5:00 for the regular Tex-Trek deep dive. And Rachel,
Yes.
where can we find you?
You can find me here a lot of the time on Tex-Trek. I'm Dramaturg884 around the internet and so many places. I have a problem. I also see Jason on Jason's Live sometimes on Tuesday, and on Master Mayhem we play Mutants and Masterminds 3rd edition, and hopefully 4th soon because that Kickstarter just ended. I think that's all, everyone. Thank you for joining me on this show that I really enjoyed, and more than I originally thought I was going to. So
Yeah, I think we were all surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
how good it was.
So live long and prosper,
Yes.
everyone. See you, I think, for Strange New World later this year.
Bye.
Salon right now, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for watching our Starfleet Academy first reaction stream for this week. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and come back tomorrow and every Friday at our new time of 5 p.m. Central for our main podcast show and weekly deep dive discussions on new Starfleet Academy episodes. And until next time, as always, live long and prosper, y'all.